once again, as always, a huge shout out to all of our supporters over at patreon.com/87ASurvivorFM, to all of our editors, our $5 supporters. Thank you so, so much. Our production managers, Florida, Big Dog, Shane Murphy, Tank Dazza, Hawks Hammer, and Cyanotic. Our producers, Jake Snow and Red Freedom, thank you all so, so much for your support. It means a lot, and we will be keeping the Patreon going, but we'll talk more about that in the weeks ahead. Also, all of our YouTube members, Kenny Baker, King Alobar, Cinnamon, Muddy Track Links, and Jake is Zero Cool. All of you are legends who help the show go on each and every week. Thank you all for your support, even just by watching or listening each week to the podcast, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. I also want to shout out all of the team behind the show, who, without their help, it wouldn't be able to go on each and every week. There's obviously myself, Boydie. Mark's going to be sorry to see you leave the show as well, mate. Lad. Archie. Foxypote. DanceofJesus. Jacob Bango. Daone. And Spud from DayZ Down Under. All the best, everyone. Links are in the description. Please check them out and give them some support, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. And we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to episode 99 of the DayZ podcast, folks. We are joined, as always, by Marks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm alright. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Lad is just doing a couple of last-minute things, and then he'll be joining us. But we are blessed to have Archie with us this week. Internet issues all solved, my man?
Yeah, whatever my bullshit excuse was. Yeah, it's all fixed now.
Yeah. Basically, he sends us excuses that his internet's fucked, or he's got a family emergency or something like that, but we all know he's just on the piss.
Yeah, I have a chronic drug abuse issue. I'm trying to sort it out.
I'm surprised he's here this weekend since he's secretly Irish. Should have been Paddy's week.
Yes. Oh, it was, yeah. It was a good one. Yeah.
But the man...
Is your mom walking?
Oh, here we go. But the man of the moment, we stood him up a few weeks back, but we finally managed to get him here. Half Goblin, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Appreciate you having me.
No, mate, I'm quite excited to get you on. Tell us a bit about yourself first.
Okay. Well, I'm from Michigan, USA, the Metro Detroit area. And I'm 40 plus, middle-aged fella.
Yep, nothing wrong with that.
Lifelong gamer. I'm sure there's others out there like me that grew up in a household where gaming was kind of frowned upon by my dad in particular.
Yep.
So it was a little taboo, so spent a lot of time at friends and family, obsessively getting every minute of game time in that I possibly could.
Me too.
You know what I mean? I'd come home from my cousins with blisters on my thumbs from playing his Nintendo because I wasn't allowed to have one myself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So here I am, 40 plus, and I'm pretty deep into DayZ in particular. Playing and running servers and everything. I think the reason that I know Cinnamon, who's a streamer and
good bloke,
gamer. He I think he had pointed you to the fact that I had a little kind of a novel project going on console with Xbox, which was to try and port an adaptation of Esseker City to console with some of the new tools that have become available. So that's been like an ongoing project.
Now, to be
I'm a
more
dad,
precise here, what you're talking about is, I think it was either Don Sibley or Scale Speeder who pointed out that you guys over on console could use the DayZ editor on a PC to modify your console maps.
Yep. So, and our ability to do so has improved over the last several months. In particular, because now we can load up custom JSON files that have very precise coordinates, and they load the ads ahead of prior to that. When we brought in custom buildings and such, we had to spawn them as events.
Yep.
So they were spawning on the same cycle as like vehicles and helicopter crashes and things like that. And it was a pretty unstable way of doing it. A lot of the stuff that we get or that we don't get, that we try to improvise, it tends to increase the instability of the game, which is kind of compounded by the fact that a lot of our player base are on prior generation consoles.
Yep.
I've got a Series S. It can run pretty much anything very smoothly. The Essiker project has, it's pretty modest compared to some of the PC builds, but there's like 2,000 custom placed buildings and so on in a small area. It runs very smoothly on the current gen. But I tried playing it on my prior, like my 1S, and you're X-raying as you come in for quite a while, and then it's just very shaky, So presents a challenge as far as maintaining your player base for when you do a custom project. You have to kind of strike a balance of adding enough to make it interesting, but not going too far to where it becomes unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously it's sort of that paradox or whatever. Like, the only way to get people on your server is by having people on your server, right? So,
yeah.
It's like once it dies essentially, unless you do some crazy promo or something to really drag people in, it's really hard to like kickstart it back up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know like your general format, like how you kind of tackle the conversation or whatever. I've got a lot of different stuff that I could talk about. I'm sort of like I guess you could call me a console holdout.
But there's nothing wrong with that, mate, because it's something that we've been talking about a fair bit on the podcast. That as much as us PC players, go on about we were the originals and all the rest of it. It's clear to everyone now that there are more people playing DayZ on console than there are playing in the PC community. So you guys are important to the future of DayZ. And we've said it time and time again that console needs more love, whether it be new maps or some way that they can work out how to whether it be a community DLC or something, just to give you guys more variety. Like I was so excited this week, Archie, when I saw someone had worked out how to make it look like snow on console. Did you see that on Twitter and that?
Yeah, that brush that Scale Speeder was showing the video on. Yeah, I like that a lot, man. I'll tell you what, man, you're right. The console community is like 85% of DayZ.
Yeah,
and
really,
they're like 95% of my YouTube viewership. So and it sucks because, like he's saying, you can't get people in your server unless there's people in your server. Now that I know that you can edit with the editor for the console side servers, like that's
yep.
That's a good look, because I can actually, because everyone who sees my streams, and sees the winter, because me, I'm all about the hardcore winter stuff. They can't play it on console. Those brushers, I think, are going to be kind of maybe a little memory hungry, but maybe they'll find a better way to do it. But
yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited about that. People do. They're not important to the future of the console people. I have to disagree. I'll say they are the future, because I'm pretty sure the majority of the people on PC that are going to buy DayZ already have it. Because
right.
but And we don't have a format to the dialogue on the podcast, man. We just
we just flow, babe. We just
go,
flow,
man.
Well, yeah. So, I came by. I saw the snow. I'll call it a mod. I mean, we say there aren't really mods on console, but I don't know what it's basically a mod, an ad or whatever. So, there's a long running server on Xbox called Role Players Oasis, and a fellow who goes by the name of Screw Loose has come up with all kinds of very interesting. He does these RP scenario servers, and so he launched one. It's like Operation Siberia, and basically he set up like a comm station, and there's like bunkers and tents around it and some barriers, and then it's just he laid down that snow thing. It's like the placement hologram for the garden plots, right? So he basically so he mapped that out to a degree. He did I think it was like 200 by 200 meter cube, so it wouldn't be like too unstable. And then he has that like comm station, and he on his Discord he put up that it's not a survival scenario. It's essentially a suicide defense scenario. Like you spawn in there, there's gear there, you got to gear up quickly, and then once you fire the first shot, the zombies just start swarming in from all directions.
Okay, that's pretty normal.
And yeah, but it's really neat because he's got like the on console we have the like the white hunting gear, the snow gear, but really, I mean, if you run around with that in a green environment or something, I mean, I guess it could be for a laugh, right? There's not, I can't think of anywhere on or Livonia that would really accommodate that. But it was really cool to see, and I jumped on that server to play it a bit. He put up a video, and you've got like 8 guys standing on top of these bunkers, all decked out in the snow gear, blasting zombies in all directions that are just rampaging in. And it was a beautiful sight to see. That was on an Xbox server. If you play on the current gen, I put up a lot of like YouTubes and TikToks and stuff. If I don't identify that it's console, a lot of times people can't tell because the quality's gotten to the point, if you capture it properly, it can compare. You would pretty much think it's going to be vanilla to some extent. Like obviously we just, we have the limited toolbox of the weapons and the kit and everything, but there's a lot it's still a very rich experience, and everything's relative, right? So think of any random game you could pull up on your PlayStation or Xbox. You'd probably be hard pressed to find many that had the depth and the variety available, and even just like a private custom community. I've dabbled in the PlayStation side of it. I picked up a PS4 specifically to try and run a PlayStation server. I wasn't about to spend the money on a PS5 or even try to get one. Right now it's kind of hard to come by, but I did find that the PS4 struggled a bit to run the game, other than just vanilla, like official, right? I put some of my custom builds on there and stuff, and it was definitely struggling to keep up with it or, to render everything. But I imagine the PS5 runs it no problem.
That's
go ahead.
That's an interesting thing that you brought up with the old PlayStations.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how long, and with the Xboxes as well, it's like how long will they support? Because they said in the roadmap and stuff that they were going to support the last gen consoles for as long as they possibly could.
Yeah.
But I'm always getting people saying like, "Oh, the game's laggy, the game's this and this," and you have to try and explain to them that no, it's not the game. If you're on the older gen, it's the console that's the problem. It's not the game.
Yeah.
As like, how long will the devs do it before they realize, okay, this is the cutoff point? Like a year, 2 years maybe, and then they'll just be like, last gen's gone and it's current gen from here on out. Because there's a point where like, I would assume the game will be limited, like, if they do big updates and stuff like that, they're probably somewhat limited in what they can add because they have to do it for all these old platforms and for the old gen stuff as well.
Yeah, I think it lends to the overall instability that we experience. So 1.16 was referred to as a stability update.
Yeah.
But I can say in our experience for Xbox, it's been really bad. Like the servers have become much more unstable. Now we're also constrained by basically we have a monopoly with Nitrado as the only host that we can use.
Yeah, we've talked about that and the issues.
And then I mean, to be fair, God bless them for taking on the challenge. I don't even know how many community servers there are. The amount of complaints, and tickets that they must get off of DayZ alone, I can't even imagine how many on a daily basis. And we recently got access. I think it probably already was available on the PC side, but they started making those RPT files available to us, where you can see line by line how the server's loading the game and everything. And it always kind of shocks and amuses me when I go looking in there for something. I have to scroll through like 1,000 or 2,000 lines of errors that are just baked into the code that the server's trying to load the game, and there's just all these artifacts in there, you know what I mean, that are problematic. So when you go to Nitrado for help, oftentimes they're going to say either you added too much to your server, which kind of means like unless it's pretty much vanilla, you're going to run into some issues, or else they say it's something on the Bohemia side.
There was a great post on Reddit, and I might be able to find it. So if you give me a second, but somebody put up, it was a console player put up on the DayZ Reddit. He was complaining that his FPS and performance on a server he was on at the time was low. But when you actually look at the video, you realize that, wait a minute, like he's playing on a server that has custom buildings and spawns everywhere in this like tiny little area he's in. And I counted on it, and I was like, it's not the game. Like he was like, the game is like lagging and all this stuff. And let me try to see if I can find it. Hang on.
See, from what I understand, part of the issue as well is that you guys can't get dedicated servers through Nitrado for console.
No.
And I don't understand that business decision, Archie. It just seems like the craziest fucking thing that they're not allowing the console community to rent a dedicated server so that they can do more.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all. I mean, like you said, they have a monopoly. It's actually kind of supported by Bohemia, so it's kind of an oligopoly. But it makes no sense. I mean, and also like the locked-in frame rates on console, unfortunately, even the new gens, which are basically just like low-tier computers.
Yeah.
But people who post shit like Mark's is talking about, they just reveal their own ignorance. It's always funny when they do that shit.
I put it in the team podcast agenda, buddy, if you want to click on it. It's a little like video of it there, and you'll see my comment underneath it. And it's just interesting to see like how he's given out about the game, but it's literally not the game at all that's causing this problem.
It's like the people who come into a custom server and they're like, I don't know what you have sickness set to, but I'm sick all the time. It's like, yeah, it's vanilla, dude. Chill.
Yeah. So there's a video attached to that DayZ lag post.
Where you just click watch stream.
Yeah, just click watch stream. I should show you the thing. Well, it's like, look at this area. It's super custom. Like this is not a vanilla location at all.
And none of those objects are baked into the map, so that's it's having to render all of that in.
It's having to render all of it. I'm nearly certain he said it was on console, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there.
Even
it
still,
might be PC.
You could probably fry bacon on his console if he's on a console running around.
Yeah,
man.
I think he gets into a gunfight here and it like lags or freezes or something.
Yeah, it's hashtag for Xbox One. So it's gotten better because you can export a custom file, and then it initializes that before the events and everything else. So it is kind of hardwired in, because like you can stack things doing it this way now because they like come in instantaneously. It's much better, but it still is more of a drain. And if you have, so he hashtagged that DayZ Xbox One. So that, I'm guessing he's probably on the previous console.
Last gen, yeah.
Yep. And I mean, you can plug in like a solid state drive, to store the game and run it. It'll help a little bit.
That's what I always recommend to people that
Zyson
complain.
in chat is saying apparently it's a security issue with console networks. If you have a DayZ access, you can run your own programs, and that might compromise PlayStation or Xbox networks. If that makes sense to anyone.
As far as having like a dedicated server is what they're referring to?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is, with Nitrado, it's like, I mean, at least they could have dedicated resources to your particular server that they could still host it. Like you don't have the option to pay more. It's those situations like, just take my money. I'll pay $10-20 more a month and give me a boost. Because I'm trying to run something modded or whatever. But I think what it boils down to is they've got, oh god, there's got to be several thousand custom servers out there on Nitrado for Xbox alone, because I mean, when you go to the community tab, there's several hundred pages of servers, and the vast majority of them are empty.
Same with PC.
Yeah.
So I think so I think in their case, what it is that they've got all these people who have paid for the service. Most of them are idle, so it's like they just provide enough capacity to run the active servers, no more. A
lot of them are actually just placeholders waiting to be let out. You know what I mean? Like waiting to be rented. And they just leave them in the server selection for some reason. I know we talked about that like
really
7 months ago on the podcast, and somebody said that. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
If you looked on the PC server list, 97% of the servers are at zero.
Zero.
We were curious why, so we looked
Yeah.
into it, and it was, these server host providers keep the servers up with a generic name, and then when somebody rents it, they'll rename it and they'll start.
Oh, so it's just idle.
Yeah, it's just sitting there running.
Yeah.
And then, but with this new update, I noticed a lot of them disappeared because you had to go in and do so many tweaks.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Oh, right. So they just went down because they weren't updated to the current configuration.
You had to like manually go in and change some things. I know there were
Yep.
a lot of mods that need to be updated as well on PC side.
Yeah. So I don't mean to be overly negative about it. Like I say, I'm happy that we have access to the game, that we have, we've gotten all these new tools recently. They've continued updating and everything. I think the main issue is the split and the fact that I think the bulk of the player base is still on these old consoles, and
that's a big issue. I think if the pandemic didn't happen and there wasn't this chip shortage that's causing these PlayStations and Xboxes and stuff to be so rare,
right.
I think this probably would have been the last year we would have seen DayZ on previous consoles if they were more affordable and out there. But obviously that's not happening. So I think they're kind of realizing that, and they're like, okay, we'll keep it a while on a year or two extra until this all solves itself out and gets cheaper and stuff.
So there's absolutely no customization options for this to upgrade the hardware or anything, get extra memory, or it's just one size apparently fits all. Even though they offered, you could see it there, up to 100 player slots. Now, are there many 100 player slot servers out there for console?
Not really. There's some that are 70. You don't see a lot of 100s because I think they just tend to bog down. Aside from the fact that, there's that whole game of if you have too many slots, then you show up as like low pop in the lists. And even though you have more people, technically you have more people than other servers, a server with 20 slots that says it's high gets more people jump in than a 100 slot that says it's low, right?
Yep.
It's just the psychology of it.
Yep.
But yeah, the funny thing is with Nitrado is you can get boosted RAM and whatnot if you rent a Minecraft server, but not DayZ.
Yep.
Minecraft is a superior game.
Well, the good news for you is you live in suburban Detroit, so anytime the server goes down, you can just go PvP IRL outside if you want to.
QE lean in Chicago.
Just go base rate on 7.
I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about doing a PC map based on Detroit.
Yeah, man, I would play it.
That would be cool. That would be sick.
There's some awesome, early 20th century like blown out factories, and there's a place called Zug Island that is just like an industrial like dumping ground.
The old Packard plant, dude.
Packard plant, yep. And they're actually a deal just happened that they're gonna rehab that thing.
Of course, everything gets gentrified. They're probably gonna put some loft apartments in there.
Yeah.
Definitely not putting a factory up there. But,
No. Yeah, it'd be some kind of mix of retail and residential or something.
You know what you got to make now?
Yeah, that's Zug Island, and then there's a giant refinery, like what we call downriver. There's like so many places that you wouldn't know if the signs weren't in English. You wouldn't know whether you were in like post-Soviet location.
That's
it's
all that mid-century industrial stuff. That was, my grandfather grew up in Detroit, actually in Flint, but they lived in Detroit for a long time, and he's got pictures of him as a kid when you can just see it in the background. It's just booming in the 60s and 70s.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like Packard pulled out of there, and Mercury and all of that, and it just went to shit. But it definitely would make a good. It would make a good post-apocalyptic map now if you went to paintball or airsoft there, but in DayZ it would be sick. I think
we need a city map, like a map that's just based on a city. I know there's like limitations and stuff to it, but God, it would be so cool.
Detroit is enormous too. Like, it's not a place where you go a couple miles and then it starts to like thin out. It's like 3-4 times the normal city size.
It's like a southern city, but up north. So instead of building up, they built out.
I think I've seen where you could fit Manhattan, San Francisco, and Boston would all fit within the city limits of Detroit.
Jesus.
And 3/4 of it's empty houses.
I lived there for about 6 years. And there's like pockets, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like a street by street situation. And we lived in a nice little pocket in between what's called Corktown and Mexican Town. Is the old Irish neighborhood
in America. He's not being offensive.
No. And it was a nice little spot, but there were 2 houses on our block, and you'd go out on the back porch and have a coffee in the morning. There might be a pheasant a wild pheasant walking down the alley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you could travel a couple miles away, and there's just completely debilitated areas all throughout there. There's actually city programs to go around and just demolish like entire areas just to start over, Yeah,
I forget what they call that. Like it'll come to me. I have like a fascination with that when nature reclaims urban and suburban areas.
Yep.
But I wish they would leave all those. There's this thing that I know we're off topic, but that urban areas are doing, especially down here in Florida now. They're tearing down all of that mid and early century architecture, pre-war architecture, to build new stuff. Revitalization, they call it. Urban renewal, that's what they call it.
Yep.
And it's like you're just tearing down all these gorgeous buildings that would have stood there for 1,000 years because they're brick and mortar. A lot of it's limestone too, but and then they're putting in these Art Deco cube houses no one's buying. I have a buddy I served with in the military that's from Flint, and he went back to Detroit and bought like 8 houses for like $100,000.
Yeah.
And he's probably lost half that money in value.
Oh, they demolished it all, and they're trying to sell the rough property.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure is so bad. They buried things, but they didn't bury the lines deep enough back then.
But then again, if he's from Flint, mate, I imagine anywhere is an improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, we should have gotten to get back on topic. I know we like to veer off, but we should have got Daone or Scale to come on here.
Yeah, it would have been
because
cool.
he would have been going ad nauseum about the lamentations of the console.
Scale, get in here. Get in here.
So one thing I was going to mention, Archie, you had said that now that you know that you can apply editor and console, there was a little trick that I used when I pulled in some of the Essaker city layouts onto an Xbox server.
Mm.
It might have been more work than was necessary, but it was just an idea just came to me one day, and I was playing around with it, and I was surprised it actually worked like 100%. I have a PC server, so I just loaded that up for Essaker, right? And I just downloaded the map group pose file, and then I just using Notepad++ and find and replace, I slowly converted map group pose into a custom JSON format with using the same building names and coordinates. And then I loaded that into editor to test it out, right? And then I re-exported it and threw it on my Xbox server, and I had every single building that was programmed for loot that would be in map group pose. Every single building in the entire Essaker map spawned onto Chernarus in my Xbox server up in the air.
That's awesome, yeah, the coordinates were off, but everything else was good.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just floating. It was floating where it was supposed to be on Essaker, but relative to Chernarus, that was in a different place. But I like elevated it into the sky. That was the first video I posted about this. I was just flying around this floating Essaker, hovering above Chernarus, and just kind of saying, could this possibly happen, like Essaker on Xbox? And I didn't want. Ultimately, I just kind of picked and choose, certain aspects of the map that I wanted to pull in, because it would be too much to try to do all of that. And the main challenge being you don't have clear, flat land to work with.
True. Yeah.
When you're trying to place this stuff, it almost seems like every single aspect of the land that doesn't have a building on it is sloped.
Mate, Skullspeeder just said in chat that's a genius idea.
I was going to say, imagine what you could do if you had the tools that we have. Yeah. I mean, that had to have been so laborious and time intensive to sit and manually. I mean, I know you can, mass select and.
Once I worked out what I needed to switch out, and I practiced a little bit, it wasn't as hard as you might think.
I still don't want to do it. I would pay you to do it.
What was really hard though, and I'll admit this took like an OCD level effort, was then taking those parts of. I basically just took all the Essaker stuff, put it out over the unpopulated areas of the map, north of like Tissy, and then over a period of about a week or two, I just started taking pieces of it and pulling it down. I chose to use there's sort of a plain, an open plain northeast of Tissy. Mm-hmm. And there's like a lake over there and a couple of farmhouses.
Yeah, I call it Tizzy Lake over there.
And I needed the water, because you can't Essaker without a flooded area what's the point? So I started pulling in pieces, because there's like a certain style to Essaker where they have those city blocks, kind of like some of the buildings are actually stacked on top of each other, or they intersect in an interesting way. So like I started pulling in sort of the stuff that was unique to the city there. And then it took a long time to get all that stuff in and level it. I still haven't finished. Like there's still some things that are maybe tilted a little or floating a little bit. You know what I mean? There's hundreds of.
Spawn it over top of debug instead of. So there's no interference, or I don't know if console even has a debug. The off map, that's what we call
it. There's a debug island, yeah. So I just had it floating elevated
That's pretty impressive.
north of that area. But then I would just select like a portion of it, drag it over, and then just start pulling it down, and trying to level it along the roads and whatnot.
Here's a question. Just had someone say visuals would be nice. Are you able to fire it up and show us on your PC? Share your string or your screen for us?
Yeah. Let me try that.
This reminds me of the old 420 gaming days before DayZ modding on PC, whenever we had to like painstakingly figure out the little tweaks and cheats that worked to spawn stuff in and move stuff around.
I'll give that a try real quick. I gotta launch editor and I'll load this file. Okay.
I'm here, by the way.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, the key to tie it all together was then editor, because I needed to re-export a custom proto file for the loot and everything, and an updated pose file. So let's see. Want to stream DayZ to your friends in? So I think if I just pull this up and then I do the go live, it should work.
Yep.
Okay, I haven't done this before, but I trust you guys have. So
to make sure you select the correct window, otherwise you're streaming like whatever. Sometimes people, and sometimes people will share screen and there's no volume.
Gotcha. Okay. Get my keyboard here.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went into the 420 gaming servers and they had like custom tents put in certain places and stuff. And the way it was explained to me was a lot like he just said, with how he had to meticulously go in piece by piece and move everything.
Yeah, I remember going on to him when they leaked base building. And they broke all those files, and I think was it Milo put up a video? Milo, the average sniper, I think, put up a video of like the base building, and his video got claimed and they got a cease and desist on it, I think, or something. Had to take it all down.
Yeah, they got hit a lot. I don't want to like pull his card, but another modder that is really popular did too back in the day.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try to share this. So we are here. And then I say share my screen.
Yep.
And I'm going to share.
I can't believe we just talked about Essica for 20 minutes and Mark's resisted the urge to plug his new YouTube video.
No, he put it in chat.
Oh, he did? He put it in chat? I love it. That's how he gets all those views, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just going to go with the defaults and just try this. So I'll share that, and then I'll kick up this.
Looks like you're sharing your Discord.
Yes. Okay, you're not seeing it.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, we can see it. Yep.
Okay. Okay. We're just gonna have to travel real quick here.
I like the name, Young Penis.
That's a tree type.
Oh, that's Dad. That's not me.
Yeah, that's actually a tree type.
Yeah.
He just put that one on there first on purpose, I'm assuming. Penis Young.
Okay. There's Northwest.
You guys heard Boydie say he likes young penis, right? Can we clip that?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make that an alert sound. I like the young penis.
Please.
This is me ad-libbing over dead air, okay? We have a lot of video only listeners. So.
I got a lot of Xbox 12-year-olds gonna be tuning in. So.
Oh dear Lord, look at that.
So that's normally empty right there. There's Tissy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is I call it Dirty Old Town after the Pogues song. So here's the lake.
Let
flood it here. Let me turn the camera down. Okay, we can just do a little flyby here. So actually, and get rid of all these little squares.
There's got to be a way that someone can import.
Oh, sorry.
Someone can import a map on console. Like there has to be, even if you covered up
So
the existing map and just did it on top of that one or something, there has to be.
So this was kind of like the best, my best shot using what we have to try and pull in and make a flood zone. So people can run through here.
It was actually one
There's
thing I was kind of wondering about. Was like, you can't actually. Well, I always wondered this. I was like, how did they actually like get the water in Essek, or like where it is? Is it like that has? Did they just implement water?
No, you have
Like,
to lower the terrain because, correct me if I'm wrong, lad, but all the mapping that I've done, the sea level is one level, and so you have to raise and lower terrain.
Well, Essek doesn't have a sea level. All the water that you see is actually just a model. It's a plain model.
Damn, that's a big ass model. Oh wait, no, they're stitching them together like on the. Okay.
Yeah, they stitch them together because water in DayZ, well, any kind of model has a max geometry limit of 50 meters. Well, kind of roughly 50 meters. It's arguably 68, but a lot of people just tend to use 50 meters because it's just a nice even number.
Right.
And they've pretty much, I believe they might have used a shape in Terrain Builder to create the river in Essek and also the underwater section. Sorry.
So in this case, these buildings provide the surface under the water.
Mm-hmm.
They're nice and flat on top, so that keeps it about waist deep. So we've got that. We've got the signature sort of police compound.
Yep.
Here with the towers on top of the office buildings.
So this is builder items? Like what?
Nope. No builder. I actually just learned I could turn that off when I load because they won't work on console. So this is purely stuff that's available.
This is purely all the land underscore stuff, yeah.
Just the okay.
Yep. So it's a mixture of Chernarus and Livonia structures. It's not like exactly Essek City. I mean, you could this is what I was talking about, where some areas are kind of piled up like this.
It's Essek inspired.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks.
Yeah, and it's derived from the original map. Some of these like traffic jams. Now, there's also, so I used the same trick actually. I don't know if you guys play Deer Isle, but you might recognize this to some degree. I used the same trick and went on Deer Isle and pulled this prison compound, and then used the map group pose to sort of back it in. I had to move things around in order to fit, and level it, but.
I always wondered this from when we first heard you were coming on. It was like, obviously it's a bit different now, but I thought to myself, like, God, if he's taking, if he's copying and pasting stuff from like Deer Isle and Essek and stuff, couldn't the map creators not just like get in contact with you and be like, hey, you're copying our stuff, that's not allowed or whatever. But since you're kind of, obviously changing it, moving things around, I suppose it doesn't.
Well, they don't have any IP on Bohemia models anyway.
Yeah. No, I was wondering. Yeah, but yeah. So
that's
and I actually when I first launched it, I got some questions like that, and I'm like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that because I'm not claiming this for my own. You know what I mean? And I certainly don't charge anybody to play my servers, but. So I joined the Essek Discord actually and talked to them, and they had no issue. They were interested to see what I was doing. I didn't really check on the Deer Isle side.
I don't think they're going to get upset that someone copied their copy of an existing map. You know what I mean? But yeah,
well, that's it.
Yeah, and it's not just 100% copy. It's just like I went on there to see like if there was any inspiration. Like. Cool ways to lay out the vanilla buildings that we have available to us. Some of it I had already worked out myself, like, I have another server called Death Row that's in an enclosed circle of these barbed wire walkways, and the entire server is inside a thing about that size, but it's enclosed, Go ahead.
What's the performance like? Have you tried this on a console server? Like, have you?
Yeah. So this gets to I'm just running it as a 20 slot. It gets to that issue of the new consoles versus the older consoles. Series S that I have can run this no problem. The 20 people running around firing automatic weapons, no issue. I also have my old 1S that I play test with. It can play this, but I don't know if you guys have ever been on a server that was struggling.
Oh yeah.
It's like it almost makes you grit your teeth. Like you can feel the tension. So when you log in on an older console to this, it just feels kind of crispy, I would say. It'll play, but you'll get little flashes, like everything will turn white, from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're in a gun battle or something, you might have a difficult time with the lag.
Something about the muzzle flash.
I'm actually
the frame rate too. I know. On my old 1080.
Again, yeah, yep. So when they increased the fire rates recently, that degraded the performance on the older consoles as well. So it's like each step forward kind of takes us back a little bit. I'm happy to play it on the Series S, but
as they say, you dissolve the bottom as you raise the top. People got to update. They got to upgrade.
Yeah.
That's literally like we're going full circle again. It's like how long until these consoles are just too weak and slow that they have to get rid of them for the game to progress.
So this is the shanty town.
I have
the things, I
have a town that I mapped out. It's a flooded town. I'm going to send you the file and you can use it. It's all vanilla. It's up in above between Electro and the evac site up there, the military tents up by the campgrounds.
By the dam.
I made it look like the dam broke and it flooded the town. If you want like a flooded look, I'll send the type file so you can use it.
Cool.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I use the mold texture from rotten food and I put it on the inside of the flooded houses so the walls look molded and shit. It's all vanilla. It should all work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can have it. You can use it. I'm never going to use it because I use Livonia on all my servers. But
screen pick.
That's a PC.
Somewhere on my old Twitter. Oh, my Twitter got banned.
God damn it.
I'm trying to find something.
So, yeah. I was going to put the zoo in this area, but basically I did the initial build. I added in some stuff. This was my own thing. I called it the lab. And this is with the new JSON file. You can, just do whatever, get creative with it. But I started running into the performance problem with the older consoles, and I just decided that I'm going to need to go through this and sort of eliminate any excess. Like rather than having 400 cars all over the place, maybe 100 is enough, things like that to see if I can get it to a level where it's more playable for older consoles, and then I'd be more comfortable promoting it. Because as it is, if I direct too many people to this and they have trouble playing it,
it's going to give it a bad rap.
I get and I get all these complaints. People get mad at me and stuff, and I'm like, look, I can't. I can only work with the tools I've got. It's like,
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I've just had an idea. I love coming up with these ideas, right? So, why not make like a new quote-unquote island? I don't know if this is possible, so hear me out. But like an island off like the coast of Cherno, for example. You know the way like you have those buildings in the lake, so you can like walk through the lake and stuff like that? Couldn't you technically not put that flooded city like on the coast? Like in the ocean, for example, and you could have that as like a flooded part of the city on the coast or something like that as well?
Yeah, you could.
Certainly, yeah.
There's spots too. I mean, you would. There's. I don't know if there's anything vanilla that's big enough that you could use as a platform that would be like sub-aquatic that you couldn't.
Yeah,
see.
you'd probably have to like attach multiples together or something. But
yeah, there's something that we used to use. I would have to ask. Like, I think DOJ found something. I don't even know if he can say anymore. It was enormous, and you could use it as a It's like part of a pier or something that we used, and you could use it.
That could be like quite a cool little extension, like to the south of the map, for example, making a flooded Essex or type city that maybe it was its own island or something and it got hit, or you can come up with multiple different stories for it. That'd be something interesting.
Yeah. To make like points of interest on a smaller scale, that might play better.
To Beraziki, because no one goes up there, and it looked like a crater was there, and it because you just kind of you cover the pier up with trees and stuff, so people can't tell there was a walkout dock, and it looked really good. But yeah, it looks like there was like an explosion and like a landslide or something. It's a blank slate, man. So cool.
Yeah. I wish I knew how to use the editor to do all this stuff.
Yeah, the experience with this led me to try and do things on a little bit smaller scale. Just try to offer something that would be playable for everybody. And so I made this little thing called Death Row. And it's Northwest Airfield's nice and flat. So this is a server right here. And it's pretty much just like a little bit of everything. You got the PD, some industrial, camo. This is the vanilla ATC in the middle. And then for this one, the fun thing, and this being for console, our player spawns, we don't have a lot of flexibility. But what I was able to do with this is sink the prison a little bit into the ground, where the natural ground was over the floor. And that enabled me to place player spawns directly in the prison cells. So on this server, people spawn in here. And if someone had decided to go around with a lockpick and lock this up, then they're pretty much imprisoned until they die or someone lets them out, or they can root around. They might find a knife or a lockpick or a grenade or something, but there are other player spawns outside of the prison cells, a few of them that you can randomly get. But so this actually has done really well, just as a small, death match essentially. And it seems to play real well for everybody because it's only like 100 objects, and there's no animals or zombies outside of here.
He's basically, if you can't see it, he's got a perimeter wall that's a huge circle. It's probably about 100 meter diameter, and then he's built a bunch of he's got a prison and some other structures inside of it, and it's basically a battle royale for anybody who's not watching the video.
Mm-hmm. I've got an update to it where there's like a couple places where you can escape, and then I was going to open up the loot to incorporate more of Northwest Airfield, because this one seems to get pretty steady play.
It's a pretty popular deathmatch arena.
It's doing okay, for not. I don't really do a lot of promo and stuff lately. I find there's a decent amount of people on here regularly. I used to really be pushing my stuff. I have 5 active servers right now, and I had a sizable Discord for what I was doing. But just like what we've talked about, all the technical issues and the Nitrado issues and everything, it's so hard to defend technically what you're doing and the lack of performance, and people's vehicles disappearing and bases disappearing, things like that, to where I just kind of had to throw in the towel on, investing too much effort until those things get resolved,
It's going to be hard for you folks over on console. You want to do so much. You see PC doing so much, and you guys are literally trying to do this stuff with basically one arm tied behind your back.
Yeah, and I say I'm a holdout in the sense that I have a PC server, and I I play on PC sometimes. Some of my people have migrated to PC. But DayZ kind of brought me back into gaming from really not playing any adult games anyway. I'm a dad, I played all the Lego, Batman and Marvel and all that, and we had a great time. But I took many years off of gaming, any kind of serious gaming, and then I don't even remember, randomly I discovered DayZ, and it just hit me in a different way than any other game, partly it was that I sucked at it so bad, initially, and I was like almost like in denial. I didn't want to accept that I could suck that bad, so I was determined to like learn how to play,
Yep.
I still do. So I feel the pain.
And like people tell me I suck all the time now, so but you know what I mean? So it just grabbed me, and that was on my old Xbox, and so I made a lot of friends through that, had a lot of fun, ran a bunch of different types of servers, and to where I don't want to walk away from that, I'm kind of like holding out to like make it work, really make it work. So I still have a lot of fun with it, but I do feel like, and I think as far as the player base goes, they probably feel similar, that you get to a point where you don't want to invest anymore.
Right. Water and
time and effort.
Yeah.
It's just too unstable, and if you jog 4 hours and to get yourself in a survival position or something, and then you die because a zombie gets stuck to you or something. I mean, I'm sure that happens on PC sometimes too.
It does.
A lot less though. It's mostly scripters. That's why no one plays on officials anymore.
Oh yeah. So anyway, that's a lot of that. I have this little thing here. This is a Mexican bingo card. Guys, like I said, I live in Mexican town. They're really neat, but some of my people, I don't know if you know the Greedy Peasant.
Yep.
He's a streamer, and he hosts a Discord he's got over 100 community console servers on there that he hosts their Discord links, but he does reviews on them all. Teabag has the DayZ Madness servers, and he does a lot of wild coding. He codes for Greedy as well. Last DayZ has been doing some really cool theme Xbox servers. He's got one that's like a Wild West. It's called 357 Ways to Die, and it's like revolvers and repeaters and stuff like that, and a lot of the Western gear in like a death match. So it's like RP death match, you know what I mean? I don't. Have you ever heard of Smiley?
I think
Smiley's got a gun.
Yep.
She's super hilarious. She streams a lot. I tell her she's been streaming console pretty regular, but I think she would make a big splash if she came over and streamed PC where there's a larger audience, She's got a real big personality. She's Australian as well. About Cinnamon. I just threw a few names on there for a shout, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm sure you know about Dirty Santa.
Yeah.
He cracks me up. So,
no, it's good to see you guys on console doing all you can to get as much out of the game that they let you do. Scalespeed has shared something before. Apparently, there's a move to get BLDR items to console. I'm trying to push for that.
Oh, that would change the game, man.
Does someone want to explain the difference between the land and the BLDR items for those that don't understand, like me?
Go ahead, lad.
Oh yeah. Right. So the land models are basically the models that come without any mods. So you don't need to load any mods to have access to them when you use DayZ Editor, for example. Or even so with normal offline client that Arkansas made God knows how many fucking years ago. with the BLDR, they essentially reveal every single asset that is available to the game, even converting, well, not necessarily converting the weapons. So if you spawn in a weapon and it's a BLDR weapon, it is just purely the model. It's nothing else. And it's the same with everything else. So if you were to make a map edit for console, you would not be able to use any BLDR items, only the land_ones. So I can obviously tell that, with the access of BLDR objects, which is what the console folks have pretty much been crying out for, if they get access to that, that'll be absolutely fantastic. I'm not too sure on how it is activated. I haven't actually looked at the code. I mean, it's probably not that complicated, but I could be wrong there. But that's essentially like one of the main differences. You have a lot more access to stuff with BLDR compared to just nothing.
There's extra stuff too. Like
there's a
certain
lot
things
more.
are broken down into different sections that you can use, and
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's like BLDR with BLDR. Like you'll find out that a lot of stuff, like apartment buildings, for example, the internal is different. It's separated. I don't know why why on earth you would want to separate them, but I mean, there you go. You have that choice. But it's really, really cool to see what kind of extra stuff that you do have access to with the BLDR mods, and a lot of people on PC use them. So, fingers crossed the console folks get access to them, because, being able to create a lot more intricate, detailed sections on Chernarus and Livonia is something that will be absolutely fantastic to see. And it'll be lovely to see how it would affect the servers and the performance of those consoles as well, especially the current generation.
So go sign that petition. If you share it in the chat or something. I signed it yesterday, and there's a dev in the chat.
You signed a change.org petition.
Listen
You
here.
can't even fucking say it, Max.
Maybe they don't care about change on the console side over there in Ireland, but here in America, we do. We know that all you got to do is revolt, and then you win.
Just
So the difference.
Have a go at it.
Yeah. So the difference, like for the Essiker thing, for instance, like we pulled in the shanty town, but we don't have the fences. Like that's all fenced in. So we have to improvise. So there are objects we can pull in there and use as fences. Although we have gates, but then if you make a fence out of all gates, then any aspect of that could be open, like a gate.
Yeah.
So it's kind of lacking in that way. I think the thing is, if they enable us to bring in the builder items, and with the vanilla stuff as well, what would really change things is if they enabled us to delete the builder items and the vanilla buildings, so that we could really make a dedicated like gaming space on the map. Because I think the biggest drawback is whatever you do with Chernarus, you have to load. I don't know how many square kilometers it is, but all that has to load every time, right? Even if you're only using a little piece of it.
Yeah, we can delete on the editor now, right?
Yeah, we can't delete on the editor, and you need to use the DayZ editor loader in order to actually use those changes.
The loader. What's funny, though, is he's talking about builder items and using them to build things. The majority of the map of Essiker is built out of like builder items. Like if you go to the zoo, it's all repurposed. Like it's really interesting, like how they built that whole promenade or whatever, the boardwalk is all out of like docks and stuff. The whole thing is made out of like it's like something out of Fallout New Vegas, where they built like a city out of train car. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's impressive for sure.
It really is. Yeah.
I studied that for a while, thinking, how can I improvise this with just the vanilla objects we have for console? And I just tabled it because I found an item that I could use as like a tall fence. But when I mapped out a border around the entire zoo, but when I went to load it, it actually didn't load because it turns out it was something generic to Essiker only. It wasn't a builder item. but there's like this gate or fence that you can spawn on editor, but it doesn't load for Chernobyl or Livonia for some reason. So it was kind of a little discouraging. I kind of hit the brakes a little bit at that point because I'm like, I don't mind improvising some things, but
the amount of times I've had to stop and come back later when it's significantly easier because of updates, I feel your pain.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean,
I just
hopefully...
had... Sorry, go ahead.
No, mate, go on.
I was just going to quickly change the topic. Obviously, it's been Paddy's Day over here recently, and the country's still celebrating, and an absolute monster fireworks show is going off outside my house. And I swear to God, I live in a rough part of the city. I thought there was a gunfight going on outside my house.
I thought that was his because he's from Detroit.
I shut up during when you were talking. I had to run and check my window to make sure I wasn't being shot at. It scared the shit out of me.
That must only happen in Europe. Over here, that's like every day. Like legitimately, I was outside earlier working in my garden, and someone was sighting in their AR-15 or something, and I live in the city limits, and it was just bang, 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 bang. That's just a part of living in America.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, the joys of being Australian. I hear bangs, I go, someone's shooting fireworks. And they're even illegal here too. But it's still, that's the first thing I think is, fireworks, not guns.
Oh, it's the drug dealers, the local ones getting a bit angry. But
they throw fireworks when they're mad? No, I'm kidding.
But no, that's awesome, Half Goblin, what you guys are doing. I've also been following Project Lemons and what they're doing with Zagoria. So they're doing something similar, remaking a map and trying to work with the limited tools at the disposal. So it's great that people are doing some stuff like this. We see Scale Speed is sharing files all the time for people, just to little things that they can install on their map and add some custom locations and anything to mix it up. We're blessed with a wealth of variety over here on PC, but you guys and girls over there on console have really only got the two maps to play with, and one of them's paywalled. So Chernobyl is the main tool you have to play with.
You see Master Race?
Yeah, fortunately, a lot of the objects from Livonia, when you port those in, it adds a lot of flavor when you bring those over to Chernobyl. Mm-hmm. Actually, I saw you had posted about the Project Lemons, and they have full kitted cars on there. So I jumped on. I was driving all over the map, kind of taking a little tour, looking at how they had integrated some changes and stuff. It was really cool.
Yep.
I'm always curious to see, like, because it's like, let's say you had a Lego set. It's like very well the 200 different pieces you have in your set.
Yep.
And like, how many different new combinations can you come up with out of that? After a while, you feel like you've done it all until you see someone else did something cool that you never thought of, and then that can kind of open up a whole another realm. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. If I put that building in there on a 90-degree angle and I sink it into that hill, it creates this other thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a little wacky, but it's like, it's what you have to do. Right. So I'm always happy to see tricks that other people have worked out, to squeeze just a little more. It's appropriate that it's lemon, right? Just to squeeze just a little more out of that lemon. Because it can make a big splash with the players, just for there to be something fresh,
Yep. That's awesome to see. So the snow on the console thing, how much do you think that's going to reinvent? Are the servers now already on console that they've redone it to all snow?
I've seen some.
Yep.
I haven't seen it like full map. The one that I was on, the one I was talking about, the Siberia one, they did like a limited area. It looks really cool because he's also got a good handle on using the atmospherics. So we have the area effect file that you can create like spooky mist in the fog, and the one that Don Sibley, he put a video out to help us out with that recently. So he's got like a mixture of the wind, the fog effect, then he's got those things laid out pretty smooth, on the ground as well as on top of like some of the structures and that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it working for like a scenario, or like a death match or something, like a small area. But I mean, if you try to go wholesale snow on a large area, I think it might be a problem because each of those is a separate object. You know what I mean? It's just like so much more for the game to try to keep track of. There's other stuff going on too, like the underground. Have you heard about the underground bunker stuff that people have been doing?
No.
Somebody worked out that you could take a lighthouse and you sink it into the ground to the point where the ladder just curves out of the ground, just barely enough to where you can activate the climb the ladder action, and you climb right through the ground, and then you can do a whole layout underneath the map.
Yep, that makes sense.
Of buildings, whatever. It does get a little weird down there. Like as far as like if you're running around down there and you drop your gun, it respawns up on top of the ground where like in your location. So that can be tricky, but you can make tunnels and stuff. Those water effects from editor work on console. So I had set something up where, it was like this series of descending tunnels and you got like water flowing through them and everything. But when you're under there, though, it becomes tricky to like get back on a ladder, and you can't open a door because like you can't get that animation to activate,
Yep.
But it's something, and it just adds another element.
Make and do with the tools you have.
I linked it in the team podcast agenda, the video that Scale Speed I put up about it if you want to check it out. Pretty cool.
Hi everybody, welcome back to.
And then we're busy like pushing the limits with all this extra stuff, and then the servers that Nitrato is running, smoke is starting to shoot out of the sides of them as they're trying to load all these extra custom things we're throwing in there.
Well, hopefully one day you guys get something better than the shit Nitrato has.
Best servers out there. Hashtag sponsored.
Get fucked.
I don't know.
This looks pretty cool. This looks pretty fucking cool.
It's a bit janky though, from what Scale Speeder said in the video, that if you want to get back out of that, you have to relog.
Log out.
But there is a way. He said it's very finicky when you place it. If you move it even like a millimeter, it won't leave you the prompt to go up. But you can get the prompt, but it's very, very finicky. Scale wasn't able to do that.
You actually can climb out, but there's like a very tiny spot where you can get that activation to get back on that ladder.
Yep.
But where I stopped kind of working with it was where I realized I wouldn't be able to, because I had like these flooded tunnels underground that led to a big church underground, and it was going to be like this cult headquarters, but you couldn't open the door to the church. And I was like, that kind of defeat the whole purpose. I'm sure I could work something else out, but you hit those dead ends sometimes, and I see it looks like he figured out how to spawn loot down there too. He might be doing proxy loot.
Yeah, has, to be fair. It's Scale Speed, of course, he's going to figure that shit out.
Oh, yeah. But there's always, like, interesting stuff. It's just enough to keep us all going,
Yeah. Keeps things interesting, keeps things spicy. And you never know. See, the thing is that you guys have had changes in the past, even on PC, and it's been implemented on vanilla completely. Obviously, I'm not going to suggest that Underground is going to work for you this way, because at the end of the day, it is so backwards and so janky. It's just unbelievable. But the fact that it technically works is still a feat of just knowledge and what people can do. So, but with everything else, that we've discussed, if it keeps getting talked about and that, maybe we'll see it as a permanent feature at the end of the day.
I miss the old underground like bunker that they used to have up in the military base by Kaminsk on Chernarus. That's what that reminds me of. I don't know why they took that out. It was in for like 3 patches and then they removed it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, there was. You can probably find YouTube videos on it. It was what is that military base called now? They used to call it Kamensk.
I still call.
yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
still
I
Kamensk.
know that.
There's
I
the
still call it.
Still
Forgotten One.
Kamensk military.
It's like Troitsky or something. They're called.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever did the new map, they changed it. I swear, Riffy used to be called Rifty. I'm not tripping.
No, it was always Riffy.
But people say Berenzino and there's no N in it, or Berezino is how you pronounce it. But anyway, yeah, there was a silo you could climb down into it and it had all these platforms in it. And this is before base building, so people would climb down in there and pitch tents. And then if you didn't know about it and there was like a tent pitched on top of it, you would just think it was a military tent, And
yeah,
it's cool. A large tent now, whatever. But there's probably videos on it. I wish they would bring that subterranean stuff, back, because that was.
I wish they would. I mean,
and there's all this room under the map for more stuff. Like
there is. It's like with Tizzy. It wasted opportunity. I think how the
door to nowhere down there.
Well, yeah, it's exactly. It's like it doesn't make any sense, and I can only assume that they initially planned for it, and there's something in the offices where it's like, okay, yeah, an underground section, because we all know, at least I hope, the only way to get underground sections, and I'll explain it for our viewers, is that you literally have to dig a pit in the landscape and then cover it with models that look like grass textures to cover the hole up. That's how you do it. And that's how they've done it with that Tizzy military building up in that area, is that they literally dug a little pit, put the underground part as part of the model, and done. And it's like, why stop there?
Yeah, you would think that maybe they were going to do some. The rumor was back in the day, which was all speculation, but DayZ was mostly on forums and stuff back then.
Yeah,
the only YouTube presence.
Derlip just wrote in chat as well, Archie. Sumrak's clearly a fan of underground tunnels and that with what he's done with Demols. So fingers crossed that they start to. Just imagine a good sewer network underneath Cherno or Electro or Zoe.
I was just talking to somebody about like the tunnel, how there's the tunnel that's up by the ski resort, the little path. It's like the only tunnel.
Yeah.
And if there was a way, and I know that's basically just a hole punched in a model that looks like whatever, but if they could put something underground because like I was saying, the theory back in the day was that underground silo in Troitsky was going to connect to Tizzy, the base, when it was built. And that's back when they were saying, oh, yeah, when Tizzy comes out, it's going to be gassed, and you have to have a gas mask to go in. That was 5 years ago.
Fly your helicopter out of there.
Yeah, and they just implemented it. And it was going to be the only places heli spawned was in the gas zone in Tizzy. And it was, I don't know, it was really interesting. We're getting some of that slowly but surely. Tizzy's not static gassed, but it can be gassed dynamically. And, but yeah,
what do you think they hired DOJ for? He's currently working on underground tunnels. Confirmed.
I thought he was a janitor.
He makes the tea.
Well, she'll get all too.
See, what the problem is so with underground sections, there's so many complications to it because you have to calculate. You have to calculate the width of the pit that you're making, obviously due to the limitations of the engine itself with the geometry. And then you have to, you also have to take into consideration for the dynamic lighting. It doesn't work properly. Yes, sure, obviously we get shadows and everything like that, but ultimately, if you have something covered up, it's not going to look pitch black. So obviously there'd have to be code there that would have to be vanilla, where it changes what Namosk does and what Banov does and what other maps do, and to make it look pitch black. They have to do that for vanilla, which is a pain in the ass to do, by the way.
That freaked me out. I thought my monitor came unplugged or something. The first time I was in Namosk and I went downstairs, I was like, "What the hell happened?" Then I stepped on a bear trap. It was insane.
Yeah. Get destroyed.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is like, it would be such a cool thing in practice, but even Sumrak has said himself that when he'd done the underground parts, it was just such a pain, and he never wants to do that stuff again. Or at least he's insinuated he doesn't want to do that stuff again, which honestly, taking a look at it, I don't I don't blame them.
Well, like I bought a prefabricated underground mine model, and it was like about 50 meters long, game scale. And I used bulldozer and added all the colliders, and I was still like falling through the floor in certain places. And I just got so frustrated with it that I threw the idea out, because I was going to put it on Livonia and have people be able to go underground and run around in this underground mine. And you had to use a flare, a flashlight, or whatever. But it was just such a pain in the ass trying to figure out why, because the lighting thing, whatever, but the falling through the textures and the collisions are miserable, you know?
Yes.
And it was, I don't know how they do it. And I'm not, when modders aren't getting paid and they're pulling their hair out. Man.
Yeah.
Listen. Stop your complaining and fix your mod.
Okay. But see, the thing is, because geometry is done by component boxes, so each and every single part has to be identified by a component, which is a simple box. So even if you miss just one little bit, it'll break, and it needs to be, I believe it's convex or concave, one of the two. And I've had to do it with the rocks for the map we're making, Archie. And they were an absolute pain, and the houses are going to be even fucking worse to do than everything else.
I don't know why, for anyone who hasn't implemented models into DayZ, there's something about the what's that layer called, that mask for the lighting? RV mats.
Yeah, the RV mats, yes.
And it makes it look like everything has this polyurethane lacquer coating on it. You know, so like I had these wool scarves that I made and got and put them in on the server, and you get them and it looks like they have like polyurethane painted on them, and it's so hard to get it right because the tools are so antiquated. And I'm talking like 20 years out of date antiquated. It looks like when you launch Bulldozer, it looks like you're launching like Minesweeper on Windows 95.
You're not fucking wrong. See, that's the thing. Like even so. How do I explain this? So obviously with lighting and texturing, there's a lot of different things that go into it to make it look good. And currently I'm doing something with the help of DOJ to kind of get something right for multiple reasons. You know,
basically
with a lot of models,
DOJ's got the job at Bohemia Interactive and he's outsourcing it to you. Smart move, DOJ.
He's getting paid the whole time. Yeah, he's getting the paycheck.
Yeah, fuck. But so the way SMDIs, for example, which is in charge of what actually affects the lighting, easy clap, just business. Yes. The best way. So how SMDIs are made? It's like a specular gloss map. Specular has all the details and all the little bitty bits, all the different scratches of like a gun, for example. And then the gloss map, which is the blue channel, it basically governs on how shiny that object is. But say for example, if you buy a model online for $50, right? Sometimes they'll use a different workflow. So all the detail is actually gone and it's just pure white in the metal channel. Which is the specular channel, I should say. So when you import it into DayZ and you just put an RV mat on it and you don't really configure it much, it looks too polished, it looks too clean, and it looks like goddamn shit.
Yeah,
and I hate it.
It's really incongruous. It's really hard to hide it because it doesn't match the aesthetic of the rest of DayZ.
Yeah,
I'm sure people have seen it. If you've ever played on a modded server with some sort of imported gun or vehicle or something, you can see it. It just stands out so like it's so pronounced. I don't know, but it's hard to work with, man. It's not an easy fix. Like other games,
it's really not.
Yeah.
Would you say
other games? Sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, would you say it tends to look like less refined or less textured a little bit? Like
it looks
definitely less weathered. Yeah.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah, obviously with DayZ, you know, you've got that certain look about it, and it's. And I will admit, I've been doing texturing stuff. Fucking hard to do right. It's really, really hard. But
I thought I had it perfect, and then Lad made fun of my wool scarves. It took me like 4 hours to fucking with it, and I finally thought it looked okay. And he's like, "Mate, what the fuck is that shit?" Yeah.
How, mate, that scarf's fucking rank, that, like, it's fucking terrible.
I've got one little thing if you want to see. It's something I did on the Esker deal. So rather than going underground on that one, I wanted to create just like a certain ambiance, and I made this little point of interest I called the lab, right? And I had a pleasant surprise using the editor where I found that if you placed zombies horizontal, well, actually it worked vertical too. I pretty much I put in some tables and I put a couple zombies horizontal and put like a defibrillator and some syringes and stuff around them. And then I put like a NBC zombie over, like he was doing experiments on them, right?
Right.
And when I loaded it, I was really surprised to see the result. And that was down. So I found like a depression in the normal terrain, and then I just built up over it to kind of create sort of an underground feel. I'll see if this will play for you. It's a little.
Sure. And
it's real quick. The aspect is a little off because it's a TikTok, but
it's fine. Once Boydie gets back, we'll show it to everybody in the chat as well, because obviously he hasn't clicked onto it. But you
can you hear that?
I can hear it. Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Dude, that radar building looks so good at night. Here we go. You can get Boydie to stream it now, and we can replay it.
Go for it.
By most, an underworld.
There you go, Gabu.
Right, start from the screen. There we go.
Okay, want me to start it up?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I don't think you'd have an issue with copyright from Tales from the Dark Side, so
It'll be fine.
I'll find out.
Man lives in the sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is,
look at that.
unseen by
That's pretty
most,
cool.
an underworld that is just as real, but not as brightly lit.
Really, really, really cool. See, it's the imagination of it. It's like, you get an idea. It's like, well, if I do this, and then you do it, and it works out perfectly.
yeah, that was just gameplay on the actual Xbox server.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned out surprisingly well.
Yeah.
And those zombies were just stationary there, but they were like writhing around and moaning and stuff.
Yep.
So
Like Scorched out of Fallout 76.
yeah.
The red skin and shit.
Now, lad, I have to ask something. Have you got a hickey or something?
Why?
No webcam.
Because I don't have my webcam.
Yeah.
Well, one, I've come down with a cold since last Sunday, so I look and feel like shit.
What's new?
Hey, fuck you! But my webcam isn't working at the moment. I'm trying to get it sorted out. So
Okay, I'll have a chat with you afterwards, mate. See if there's anything we can do to help with that. But
you know what? The real reason is he's naked. I can hear his balls striping off that leather chair every time he moves around.
I won't fucking lie because
Sounds
I don't
like
have
a
my
Velcro
webcam
wallet.
on.
Remember those Velcro wallets? Let me get this, baby. That's his balls coming up off the chair.
There you go, pet. Salted for you.
Put some fucking powder on that chair, dude.
Never.
Now, Marks, the Happy Bombs event, how did it go?
I got shit on.
But how was the actual event? How was the actual event?
No.
Was it the usual
It was
class
good.
effort that Happy Bombs puts together?
I don't know. I had never watched or played in any of these events before. So this is my first ever experience. Yeah, it was good. It was literally Survivor games from back in the day, but just with some extra creature comforts to make it, proper. He had like maps. So like he had a map. So he hit M, and you could see where the zones are going to be. So you'd be like, right, you have an hour and a half to get to zone 1. And so if you're not in zone 1, like you'd walk into the zone and it would tell you down the bottom, you'd have an icon, it would say like you've entered the zone.
Yep.
And if you weren't in there, you would be kicked. So you had to make sure you're in these zones and stuff and move along. And it was great. And there was a 15-minute grace period beforehand. So, you're not just instantly dying. We got a kill each, but we kind of became desperate for ammo towards our death. We had shotguns and Mosins. And of course, the Mosins are the better option for range. And I had 1 bullet in my Mosin and Facility had 0. So we were kind of got a bit desperate. So we had to start looting houses. And we ran into a house. That Facility thought there was only a zombie in, and it turned out there was a fully geared guy in there with an M16 and another guy in there with a shotgun or something. So I killed the M16 guy, but yeah, it was fun though. It was really fun. Like, server performance was great. It was run very well. I think Minder ended up winning it. I saw some
DayZ skills. It wasn't just PvP. You had to use a bit of survival and finding food.
Yeah. Well, food wasn't an issue, but like, you could either fish or hunt if you wanted to as well. Like, It was pure vanilla, like vanilla weapons, all that type of stuff. But just, what's it called? But it was just, what's what I'm for? But enhanced a bit by, certain mods, but nothing crazy. It was still vanilla. It was actually, like, he had one thing, right? Quality of life. He had a mod, and when you opened a compass, the compass in game, you'd get the navigation bar up the top where you'd be like, get all your coordinates. That up, so when you close the compass again, it would go away. But if you opened it up and put it in your inventory, you'd have that up on screen. It's just little things like that were
that sounds really cool.
I've never seen before.
Yeah, somebody mentioned on the stream the other day that when you open the brass compass, it has that little I forget what you call it, the little arrow in it. What is it? There's a word for that, but it has that in there, and you should be able to ADS with it so that you can see the direction on the horizon or whatever, like you would, IRL, like they teach you how to in the service or in Boy Scouts or whatever.
I've always said as well, when I was in, we used to, a popular thing was to have a compass attached to a lanyard around your neck, so it was always easily accessible. And you could still have your firearm in your dominant hand. Me, I'm a lefty, and then you could just grab your compass out and look. So I always thought that it'd be interesting for there to be a mod that if you had the compass, say, on your hotbar attached to only once it's added to your hotbar, that you get a very limited, very basic compass that might show north, east, south, and west that you could see.
Yeah, it used to be a thing. Like if you opened your compass and put it in your hotbar and back in your inventory, you could just look at your hotbar and see the direction, but they changed it. So it doesn't work.
Oh, yeah, weird bug where once you take it out of your hand, it flicks 90 degrees to the left or the right. And
I got lost the other day fucking on Livonia because I was like, what is going on? I didn't know they fixed that. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. I think I always IRL had mine on my watch band, had the little bubble compass.
Oh, God.
Just wait until I start talking about Genesis then.
Yeah.
But, if... a great event. He should do more of them. We're definitely going to go and try and practice another one of them. If those
he's just becoming the king of events for DayZ, isn't he?
Somebody's got to. His events are good, well put together.
I think he has a True Colors event coming up soon, which I don't know what they're about. I've never watched one either, but I do plan to join that as well if we can get in.
Same as that Queen's event, pretty much. You get some color and go in.
Yeah, but great. It was fun. A lot of people. It was interesting. A lot of very good people died very quickly, like within that first circle. I was expecting like me and Facility to be the first people to drop out, but like we were far from the first people to drop out. We done a lot better than I expected. So.
You're pretty good, bro. You shit on yourself a lot, but I've lurked your stream a few times. You're pretty solid at PvP. A lot of people like you move in when you need to. And you push people so that they're forced to move, but then you don't let people. Yeah. You don't tree VP with people, which is I hate that because those conifers, the hitboxes are trash.
I hate that. Yeah, I seem to perform better sometimes when I'm by myself, but we're getting there.
I think we all do because you don't have that hesitation when you see someone. Is that my friend? I got to look for that article of clothing that's identifying. Mm-hmm. You just.
We've got the clip from Minder, who apparently won the event.
I want to crawl. I want to crawl this sandbag bunker. I want to crawl all the way down, and then toss a grenade in the other giddy bunker.
And he was solo, by the way.
kinda
His
wanna do
teammate
that.
died early on.
I think I should. Fuck it, dude.
Spice it up.
Did he just flip them off?
Can't tell. It's lagging.
It
Scratches too.
by the way.
It looked like he just popped up, flipped them off, and then
He
shot at
did.
them.
He did.
Okay. Only one mag. Oh, man.
Oh,
Looked like real guns
I
and
actually
stuff
flicked
were
him off mid spray.
Scarce.
What the?
Wait.
That man is the most attractive 40-year-old lesbian I've seen in my entire life. He's a fucking DayZ god. 10,000 hours too, man.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to.
But
I
like,
want to do.
Weapons and mags, I think, were he had changed them to he has a 0 Melkart server, and it's different on there. But on this one, like, weapons were kind of hard to find, and ammo was fairly scarce as well. So you had to make sure you were, planning all your shots out and make sure you didn't waste all your ammo and stuff. But like, even our comms and everything were really good this time around, and usually that's our big downfall. But
Yep.
we did good.
Too bad
Next time we'll
facility
win.
couldn't use hand-to-hand combat, and they
Yeah, right.
went in there and choked the guys out.
Exactly. Would have been on top then.
Now, lad,
Well,
you shared something that's semi-console related.
Yes, I did. So, I was scrolling through.
Oh yeah.
I was scrolling through Reddit earlier on, and just for our folks who don't watch the podcast, only listen, some guy managed to get DayZ running on a
Steam Deck.
Thank you. I keep wanting to say the Switch.
Yeah. You called it a Stream Deck earlier. I didn't correct you.
on the Steam Deck, yes. So the way that I got it to work is because the Steam Deck uses Linux, unless you download Windows onto it, which, as far as I'm aware, don't, because it doesn't really work too great. He managed to download Proton Experimental, which is a Linux-based service, kind of that Linux-based thing that's with the Steam Deck. And, the guy was saying that it runs great. He was actually playing online with his friends. He was talking about the microphone. His friend said it was perfectly fine. It downloaded all of his workshop mods completely fine. It ran great, apparently. He hasn't provided any videos, unfortunately. I would have loved to see a video. But it was just something that caught my eye. And it was just brilliant to see, because I won't lie. I often thought about, like, oh, I'd love to get a Steam Deck to, like, just sit back, have a shit, play DayZ, get killed, actually shit myself for real and be fine. Sorted. But, yeah, so it was absolutely... It was just really, really weird to see. The Steam Deck's a very expensive piece of kit, obviously, especially with it being brand new. But it was just weird to see. It was very surreal.
Yeah, the amount of base bums that are going to just leave their Steam Deck turned on to see if they get raided is going to be insane. Guy's going to be at work and like run to the bathroom to fucking defend from a raid.
Why were you in the bathroom for so long? Sorry, somebody raided me base. All right, okay.
Understood. Did they get anything? No. I only have an hour. They're going to run back from the coast. I got to go.
I should say thanks for having me. I got a dip, guys.
Oh, you do, do you?
Yeah, I gotta get some supper for the family here.
No worries.
So I gotta cut out.
Thank you so much. It's amazing seeing what you guys are working. I imagine Lad will probably look at getting the Project Lemons and the Zagoria team on as well in the future and talk about what they're doing. I pray that you guys get access to more stuff in the future, so you can keep on keeping on with what yous have got. It's awesome seeing you guys, the love you have for the game. Unpopular opinion here, but I think that you guys probably love the game a bit more than some of us on PC, because for so many of you to still be playing it. And yeah, Archie, if all we had was still vanilla, do you think we would have the audience that we have now playing DayZ on PC? Fuck no.
Oh, no. I mean, there's no, if you look at official right now, none of them are full anymore. There's like 5 high pops, and that's at the peak of the day. You know, it's, you have to love DayZ to deal with the abuse. It's like living with an abusive woman, you know. Sometimes she gives you immense pleasure, but the majority of the time she treats you like shit. You know, and it's just miserable and it'll ruin your whole day. But send me a DM, Gob, and I'll send you that types file for that flooded town, man.
Yeah, sure thing. And thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on, buddy. And I apologize for standing you up the other week, but yeah, we were able to find.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I actually was a little nervous that time, but this time I was like, I don't give a fuck, you know. I'm just kidding. But it got the jitters out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yep. No worries, mate.
But so if console people are tuning into this, if they want to see what I got going on, they can just search Goblyn. My name is in all my server titles. It's Goblyn, and they'll come up. The names change from time to time depending on what I feel like working on. You know what I mean? I do have a PC server that I've just used kind of for utility purposes, just kind of with some of my console design stuff, but I am going to be working on that in the near term here. I've heard a lot of people lamenting that Essaker wasn't taken all the way, so figured, well, I worked with it somewhat on console, maybe I'll try and do a modded Essaker on PC, you know what I mean? To try to build that out and start playing with those builder items. I have never used the builder items myself, so I've kind of haven't dipped into that because I felt like once I went there, I wouldn't want to work on console anymore. You know what I mean? But I just to do something different. I think overall, my thought is, you know, like you say about the console people having the love and you know, dedication to the game. I think it's kind of a missed opportunity, maybe that I don't know if Bohemia sees it, that as many people as play the game and play it as much as they do, in the state that it's in right now, just imagine how many more people would get into it if it was more refined. Oh. You know what I hop over and play like PUBG or something, and I almost cry because I'm like, I can drive a car without flying to the moon, you know, or you know, just like. So there's so many things that are better, but I always come back to DayZ because there's the freedom within the game. You know, there's a certain quality to the game you can't get anywhere else. Yeah. But if more refinements could be brought to it, it could be like a top tier blockbuster Tarkov type of, you know what I mean, popularity, and have, you know, the numbers on Twitch and everything. There's a lot of console streamers, but they're out there with like one viewer or whatever, because you know what I mean? Like they just can't compete the way it is right now.
I think the problem is that it's about customer cost, not customer retention. It's how much does it cost for them to buy a customer or earn a customer as a
right. The math just doesn't work. Yeah.
And I mean they're not. But I will tell you this: I can tell you from playing this game for a decade, when the console community wants something, they get it expeditiously, and the PC community.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
There's quality of life things we've been wanting. Yeah. That the console community will definitely have override permissions for, like when you swap servers, how you spawn in different places. Mm-hmm. That was because people were ghosting into bases and stuff like that. There's a lot of little things that I could pull out of my hat and give you an example for. They're listening to the console community though, because that's where their income is for sure. But yeah, I hope they do get on the ball, but that kind of stuff, I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort, and I think I don't work for them, but I think it seems like they're working on updates as opposed to, you know, I don't even know how to articulate it correctly. I'd say have faith though, because they're all about keeping the console community playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, totally appreciate what we have. And that we're still getting the updates. You know, it has been actually a lot of myself and my friends. We started a little faction, and we've been playing official together because official has gotten so much better. Yes. You know, and the amount of people on the console official, there's many high to full servers at all times, and we started, we're bringing in like social media and stuff for the factions on the official, which kind of drives that,
You should plug your Discord if you have one, and if you don't, you should absolutely get one for your servers.
Yeah, I am not running one right now. I was, but like I was saying, the burden just got to be a bit much of managing the 10% of the people that are constantly complaining, and you know what I mean?
They're working on some sort of console integration. I was reading about it, so I would definitely look into that.
My group, there's 2 Discord servers that my group uses right now. One's called the Console Cult, and that's just kind of a catch-all for all of our gaming that we do, but a lot of us are primarily DayZ, and we coordinate our faction stuff on there, but we welcome anybody to come in there, especially streamers and everything. And then the Greedy Peasant Discord is a really good place, featuring, he's got over 100 Xbox community servers featured on there. And we do a lot of collaboration there for coding, and when challenges arise, we all kind of throw in to try to figure things out.
Yep.
So it's a good experience there. But again, thanks so much. It's been a great time hanging out with you guys. And
great talking to you, man. It's been really, really nice.
I appreciate it. Very much. So I'm gonna head out and get some pizza. So
Enjoy.
I'll catch you soon enough.
Boil the water.
Have a good time.
Adios.
Okay, so the Steam Deck.
I found a video.
Yep.
I'm streaming it right now.
Clicking on it now.
So this is done by the same guy who made that post on the Reddit. It shows that he's actually playing it. The analog sticks, they control obviously the movement in the camera. The buttons control like ducking and stuff. The D-pad controls jumping. He has said that he plays it with just the Steam Deck. He doesn't use mouse and keyboard or anything like that, which is quite a feat in of itself because, I mean, then again, DayZ does play okay on console controllers anyway, so...
Some of those console gamers on controllers are fucking mental at PvP. It's insane how good some of them are. You learn anything, you just have to put the practice in.
Yeah, I'm much better on controller.
Is that what you use on stream, by the way? I meant to ask. Like,
No,
a lot of streamers use... go on.
I use a keyboard and mouse, but I have a mouse with like 24 buttons on it. So everything.
Is that what it is? So when like you go open the door and it says UT or something?
That's under thumb. Yeah, that's my under thumb. I have everything within like my pointy and thumb, so I can open a door, reload, melee, anything, because keyboard and mouse is, I don't know. I can do it, right? The only thing I have on my keyboard is WASD. That's it. And lean. Mm-hmm. But I don't lean or roll.
Right. I was wondering what that meant, because I've seen a load of other streamers do it as well, but now that I thought they were using like some weird controller or something. I was like, what the fuck?
Get a mouse with multiple buttons and train yourself to use them. You'll learn in like a day, you get used to it. But I have everything, push to talk, everything on my mouse because I don't want to use my keyboard because I hit the wrong key all the time. And like reload or press F to open a door, I was always hitting, G and throwing my bag down and shit. So or my gun, it was stupid. So I just put everything on my mouse.
If you're interested in what you can do with a mouse, I highly recommend this video by The Running Man. He did this years ago. I actually bought the Corsair Scimitar Pro based on this.
I had my Sprint. My bad. Go ahead.
And he goes through. It's quite a well done video. He puts in the animation of it, and then I'm just trying to find the parts where he starts showing what he's got each button mapped for, down to zooming and ranging his weapon, and explains just how it works for him. Now I'll turn the audio on for a sec.
But
as you can see there, the button
I don't
number
see it
2 is
streaming.
highlighted in yellow.
Oh shit! Sorry.
As I'm talking through the buttons that I'm using, and
A lot of
what I'm
times it's
doing with
me,
each
so I
one,
was making sure.
that image will change so that the button that's highlighted will change from yellow to, well, whatever other button needs to be yellow. So just have a look in the bottom left-hand corner for a little bit of an idea of how it works. That's how I'm setting it up. Hope that makes sense. This is kind of a crude way of doing it. I hope it will work, but I really think if you get your mouse set up in the right way for DayZ, it will make a big difference to how you perform. DayZ's clunky. This should help. So we're just going to hop into a DayZ server and I'll talk you through it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. I have my mouse set up, and I really think it makes you more fluid in PvP, is this. So in a part of the screen, I'll show the mouse to correspond the button to what button I'm pressing. But
He's about to start showing you how he's got it set up.
It's set on button number 2, so I can do it without taking my hand off the keyboard. The enter button is the standard button. Now that's no good really, but there are other buttons you could bind it to. But I like to have it on the mouse. So button number 2 is for changing first to third. That's particularly useful if you know you're going into a, like say you're going into a building, you can very quickly change to first person. Let's say I just spot somebody over the side there, I can quickly change to first and then I can be ready to shoot. Alright, if it's close range I wouldn't want the Winnie in my hand, but there we are. So button number 2, being able to change from first to third quickly makes you much more fluid in gunplay. Really makes it easy if you're expecting to be in a fight, you know where somebody is.
Yeah, he goes through and he's got buttons set for, like, for me, I've got I didn't do anywhere near as many buttons as what he's got on his, but I've got my push to talk is my number 5 button on the side of my Corsair mouse. So, and that's also now thanks to one of my mates in my Boomer Zone Discord. It mutes my Discord. So if I'm in Discord chatting with people and I run into someone in game, when I press push to talk in game, it mutes Discord, so people don't have to listen to me talking to someone else. Then I've also got my 2 lean buttons as the number 4 and 6. So the 2 above, you can't even see the number because that's how often I've been pressing them. So all I've got to do is, click these 2 and I'll lean either way. So it makes leaning while you're running a lot easier. I don't know about you, but I find it awkward to hold Q and W or E and W, and then you can't strafe. There's only so many finger combinations you can do with the WASD with the Q and E in there as well. Whereas this opens it up more. I can move off on diagonals, hold down A and W and move in a diagonal and be leaning. It just makes it easier. He's got a lot of combos on here.
I have sprint and run forward keyed to the same mouse button, so I can literally just run sprinting with my mouse and not even touch my keyboard.
Yep.
So when I'm trying to do something with my other hand, whatever I'm doing, God knows what, I can just use my mouse and control my guy, run him around.
But yeah, that's a very good mouse. Being a Corsair mouse, it's pretty decent quality. I've only, this video came out in 2017. DanceofJesus was joking about the clunky clunk noise that you used to make. Yeah. That's how old, 5 years old. And in that time, I've only been through one other mouse. So it's a good quality mouse as well. So, Corsair Scimitar Pro, folks. And when you look at the feedback on this video, there were a lot of people as well who were disabled gamers saying that this has really helped them with playing the game as well. When they've got issues with their fingers.
There you go, Marks. It's for disabled gamers.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll have to look at. No, I've gone completely wireless now. I'll never go back to a wired mouse ever again.
Oh, I can't, man. You don't think that you don't get the delays and shit?
Nope.
Dude, I was bad. And then the time a guy was rushing me and my battery died.
I
just stood there like an idiot.
See, I use this this TechNet mouse. It's only got 5 buttons on the side. The first one's muted to connected to Discord, so I can mute my microphone. The second one is push to talk, and then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th is for my hotbar for 1, 2, and 3. That's all I have.
Mute, deaf, and hotkey on Discord is so underrated. So underrated.
I got that to my backward slash key on the keyboard.
I've got it on / and asterisk. I'm just kill it.
So yeah, That's pretty impressive, that Steam Deck. Unfortunately, I was checking it out and it's not available in Australia. So, yeah, as always, fuck Australia.
Hey, let's go EU on top.
But we had something else big happen this week, folks. Let me just go and find it.
I wonder what this could be.
What happened?
Oh, dude, Thor had a baby, by the way. I don't know if
Yes, he did.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
talked
talked about that last week.
Oh, okay, cool. I was drunk that week.
Yeah, we know.
My internet was out, you know. It really was. No shit. It was so boring. I just got drunk and slept.
But yeah, I mean, it's been quite an interesting week with a bunch of different things going on. So, kind of curious to what you got going here.
I'm the flicker.
Yeah, right. Somebody didn't load it beforehand. Amateur. Have you ever noticed how all these map trailers are always the same?
Yep.
There's a tried and true format. Have you ever noticed how most of your thumbnails are the same?
Hey, they work.
I can't say shit, man. All of my guides, I do the sweeping pan in, sweeping pan out. In my defense,
Well,
though, no.
there, random survivor.
Yeah, I look at this map and I go, it's too big. I couldn't be arsed.
You sound like your mom.
Good one.
Have a go. A goo. Have a goo.
Have a good. Have a root. If you can't see it, it's a very long flyby sequence of parts of Deer Isle, the map.
Yeah.
I guess they've done some updates.
It would appear so, but I'm not sure what exactly.
It's the official launch. He's finally happy with the version of it, and it is now the official launch.
Oh, wow, I like that part.
What does official mean? Does official mean like he's done with it?
1.0.
I don't think he's ever going to be done with it,
He's not done.
but he's happy with the state it's in now. That
Yeah, I thought this map officially like released years ago.
No.
I didn't realize it was still like in beta or whatever.
What the fuck is going on? It's like the whole Tomb Raider game. It's
yeah,
from the subway to an ancient Egyptian crypt, and I want to have to play it.
Yeah,
Well
so this trailer, Max, it basically represents the 1.0 version of the mod. What his vision originally was meant to be.
Right.
And everything, as you'll see on all Deer Isle servers that has his mod, it shows that it's in beta. And obviously the first versions were alpha, beta, and now it's like DayZ. It released back in 2013, but it became 1.0 in 2018.
Right, okay.
Similar thing with this. The trailer, nice.
very nice. Very nice.
I purposely did not want to watch the trailer until I watched it on the podcast, so I can give like an actual raw reaction.
Too bad your cam's not on.
I know, I'm fucking annoyed, but wow, it is that trailer.
That could be your
fantastic.
new shtick on YouTube. Lads naked reviews. Lads nude reviews. Like a thing.
But honestly, for that 3 years he's been working on the map, John
Bless
McClane
him.
or Benny, we had him on the podcast ages ago. He's always been working on it. You'd go in and you'd see him, and he's got that really cool setup with the camera looking at him from behind, and he's got his 3 monitors, and he'd just be sitting in there listening to Euro music and just working away on his map. And Yeah, I used to sit there and just watch him, and just the sheer attention to detail he would put into placing any single object was beautiful to watch. I don't have the patience for it.
Yeah, it was.
No, mapping is difficult
It's
and
hard.
tedious, man. I just think about DOJ back before when we first had the whole idea to do the overgrown Chinaris thing for the thereafter. And he was going in and manually placing and rotating each tree because the tree type spawned in the same orientation every time, right? And he would manually go in like 10,000 trees and bushes and shit. And he would just manually go in and rotate them. And like, I remember like a week went by and he showed me the progress and I was like, dude, you know life the fuck out of this. It was insane, man. And now you can just brush 12 trees at a time with Dab's editor. But,
yeah. But I am so happy that it's now the official release. I'm so happy. Like there's been a lot of a lot of ups and downs, obviously, with the development of the map. But to see it actually come out is the 1.0 version, and there's stuff there that I didn't even know about, like the fucking it was a ship in the ice fields.
Yeah, that
and
was
good. The massive crater of the anomaly. I am very interested.
It's got a lot going on.
That is. Yeah, and the great thing is that a large majority of the map are based on real life locations, which is even crazier. I know I had criticisms in the past where the map was like it was like very not sporadic but random, like it wouldn't make sense.
Right.
But but the way that it's come across now, it's just can't fucking fault it. Really proud of the lad, and I do encourage people, if you haven't tried Deer Isle out, absolutely do so. Absolutely do so. Find yourself a really good server, even if it's PvP or survival. Get yourself in there, and you'll enjoy it.
Which one's the one with the key cards you have to get to the?
That's Deer Isle.
Okay, I'm down to play that on Monday if anybody wants to get on the stream with me and play it.
You see, did you see the little random facts he's got there as well, Archie? You know, it's based on Paris Island. This is based on the Knox County Regional Airport.
Wait, this is in Maine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's American. Okay. Well, then it's great. It's the best.
The location Paris Island on Deer Isle is based on the real Paris Island in South Carolina.
That's the Marine Corps
yep.
recruit, yeah. Yeah, my aunt went there because she couldn't get above a 30 on the ASVAB test, but she wanted to be in the Navy.
I'm a fisherman instead.
And he's got even just a good solid website for it as well.
You have to have that. That does look really good. That looks really good. Honestly, I kind of I guess tend to overlook a lot of the custom maps. Chimacy, I think, was the last one I played on. Like Luge made. I think that's how you say it. I've worked with him a few times. A cool dude. But that looked really good. Because a lot of the times I'll get invested in like a project someone's working on and I'll get hype and then it just gets abandoned. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go take a look at Mark's new video on YouTube. But
like, comment, subscribe while you're there.
But that actually looks fun. Like Namalsk kind of got boring really fast after I did the Lantia mission, and it's just so small. But that looks like it'll keep us entertained for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's got some good explanations there for those who are into it. You know, something called the Pinky Food Van, a dynamic event that happens, and just you know, the only thing he doesn't have on here is how you can support him. So I'm guessing he doesn't want people to support him.
Might be on the Steam. Nope.
Just doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
Pretty much, yeah. If you got an idea and you just want to go for it, you just fucking go for it. Sometimes people just don't want money out of it. They just want to make something. And honestly, I can completely 110% respect that. Like, yeah, sure, it's okay to make a bit of money out of what you're doing, but if you just sit in there being an absolute chad, like, I'm going to make something, and you fucking do it, and you spend 3 years of your life making it to create one of the most popular DayZ maps ever.
Staying committed to that project.
Yeah.
That one project. I'm so scatterbrained with shit, like even with mods for the server. I'll be so hyped about a mod and then get a new idea and just completely forget about the other one.
Yes.
Or some guy from Australia will steal it.
But yeah, so I'm really, really fucking happy to see how it goes. And hopefully, you know, obviously with it being 1.0, it's not going to be finished by any means. There's going to be more to come, I can only assume. So
yeah, that all looks really good.
And a great trailer. I don't know whether he did that himself. Wouldn't surprise me. He's a very talented individual. Yeah, just beautiful. And that's the sort of stuff you need to be doing for your mods and your maps and all the rest of it, you know, to help sell it to people. Because especially for Deer Isle, it's really important that he did something like that because, you know, for most people it's been out for ages. For the casuals, they wouldn't be aware of the fact that it's been supported all this time. They're probably thinking it's another one, you know, like Essica that just got abandoned and or whatever. But no, he's been working on it non-stop. You know, I don't think there was barely a week he wasn't streaming at some stage, working on his map.
I was one of the first ones, really. I remember when mod support first came out, and Deer Isle was one of the first, like...
It was, yeah.
I remember seeing it on Reddit. Yeah.
Well, posted the 26th of December 2018. So
pretty much, yeah.
Like right after mod support.
It's over 3 years old. Insane.
It's gonna be 4 years old in December. Fucking hell.
Back before you could procedurally generate trees.
And yes, like so, I think Skullspeeder might have said in chat, this is a teaser for the launch, which is in spring. Well, it's autumn for me now, so I got to wait until the end of the year. You guys in the Northern Hemisphere get it soon. That's how it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't get it until it's my spring. But yeah. No, really, really happy for him. He's put a lot of time and effort into it, and I just, you know, I hope to see some of the bigger content creators out there getting on and showcasing the map and what's being done with it and all the rest of it. So, you know, no doubt Happy Bombs and Deer Isle or, Day One will probably have servers up for it to support it. But yeah.
Likely. It's really, really fucking fun.
That's pretty much it for the topics for this week, folks. Any upcoming events that we need to be aware of?
Not that I know of.
No, I'm not aware of any either. So, obviously, make sure you're following Happy Bombs. He seems to be the king of the events lately, and you don't need to be a content creator to do them. So you can just, first in, best dress usually for getting in on his awesome events. I'm trying to organise something down under. For people in Australia and New Zealand, because it always sucks for us. Most of these events get hosted on EU servers, and our ping is just terrible to that. So we'll keep your eyes posted, and I'll keep you updated on that in the future.
Yes.
Any interesting mods come out in the last week or so, folks?
Yes. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. So, first off, Genesis, the server that Damon Forge and Iceblade showed off back in the Christmas podcast, is finally released.
Awesome.
It is launched. It launched last night to a very large development stream over in their Discord. I managed to catch a little bit of it. They were taking questions. People asking about how the map transfer system works, how heroes and bandits will work. I ran into quite a few people last night, and one of them decided to corner me in the corner of a building, sucker punch me to death, took all my stuff, left nothing but a pair of shoes in the middle of the night in the pitch black, pissing down rain. So I was like, okay, this is fine.
Should have shot him.
You just let him kick your ass, bro. What a mank.
Not very good at PvP.
I'm actually not, to be fair. But the server is, the way that it works for anybody who doesn't, who isn't not in the know. So instead of spawning down the coast, you spawn on the north side of the map in Chernarus. The spawns have been flipped, so the north is tier 1, the more south you get, it gets to tier 4 and then tier 5. Northeast Airfield and Balota have been completely overhauled, so they will now have underground sections, which you have to go in with flashlights, NVGs, or something like that, because it's pitch black in those sections. They've got custom infected there, which they're still working on to make perfect. They're fucking terrifying. Survival is very much something they're focusing on, so if you're expecting to loot a northern town to get a really good gun or Tizzy, you're not going to have that much luck. The best thing you're going to find is maybe a bison or something. So it was really, really cool. I know a couple of other servers have tried the idea in the past and it didn't work out, but so far it's working really, really well for them. They're connecting to Deer Isle and Utes. So the way you get to Utes is through Deer Isle. And if you die in Utes, you have to spawn back at Chernarus or Deer Isle. You can't spawn back there.
Oh, it's got this map stitching Dump Grow was working on.
Damon Forge was working on that, yes.
Okay.
Dump Grow was helping, yes.
Yeah.
But that's one of the main things for that particular server. Well, yeah, pretty much. I was an alpha tester, played on it quite a lot at the time. Really, really, really cool. I'm looking forward to see what else they got. They got the own player-made trader systems, so if you can build your own trader stall, which can get raided by people and stuff like that. And you can sell stuff that do have currency. It's really, really, really nice. I definitely encourage people to go there, play it, give your feedback to them still, because obviously they're still taking feedback. And but don't expect it to be easy, because trust us, the infected are very, very tough.
It's difficult. I can't even get onto the server, so that'll tell you how difficult it is. There's a mod broken somewhere.
Where's the server based?
I believe the server's based in America.
Okay, good for
I'm
me.
not too sure exactly where. So I get decent ping on that server.
I get great ping.
Yeah, it's low hundreds from me.
Yeah, so
2 digits.
Yeah, all right, shove it in.
Reflex.
And the second thing is something I worked on for Banov, and I will launch it up for you guys. So, DanceofJesus got Cabello to get in contact with us to create a weapon for Banov. And we spent a bit of time working on it. We bought a model online, and it's based off a weapon from Destiny called the Outbreak Prime. And the idea was to make it into a alien sci-fi weapon that is very powerful, very fucking heavy, but you have to go through one of the restricted areas in Banov with like an NBC suit and stuff like that in order to actually get. You have to, I'm not too sure in the full steps of it. Cabela's the mastermind behind that. But he got me to design the gun, and I will show it now. So it's a bullpup weapon for people who are not aware. So it's got its own ammo box. It's got its own ammo. It's got its own magazine. And obviously the gun itself.
This is why you don't have time to help me with stuff. You're doing other stuff with other people. I see.
Yes.
Cheating on your priority list.
So they're called cells. So made by, I've kind of like kind of went ahead with the lore for these. Made from unknown materials, obviously alien weaponry. The ammo box here, made by a guy in Germany called Yama. Absolutely fantastic stuff he's done. And it's using book animations in order to hold it. So it's that big.
It looks good.
And yeah, and it actually unwraps and produces 5 cells.
Looks like the fusion cells from Fallout.
Yeah. So
said I'm pretty. Look at the description.
I'm pretty dangerous.
I'm pretty dangerous. You made that model?
No. So like I said, the model was bought online. I imported it and got it working in DayZ itself. It doesn't use optics as of right now. It's only got what comes with it. It ranges to 200 meters, but it's just... You might want to turn down my stream a bit.
No.
Yeah, so you might want to turn... Oh, okay.
All right.
And it's already jammed. So
But can it kill a bear?
I will show you that in a second. Helps if I actually picked up the fucking magazine.
Oh, Banov has the UFOs and stuff in it, so this makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like why we went for it.
So it looks like, for the audio only guys, it looks like one of the assault rifles from Halo, sort of.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Well, it is the original model is like I said, it's based off the Outbreak Prime, which is a Destiny weapon. Yes, it can kill a bear.
All right.
So this weapon, it's a very, very heavy weapon, 16 kilograms roughly, 15 to 16 depending if you've got a magazine inside. That's fully loaded.
Can it kill a player with a plate carrier with 300 ping?
It can kill everything.
Nothing can kill that, Archie.
Don't you fucking test me. You don't fucking test me, boy. But yeah, so it's a very, very powerful weapon. It's a as it's called, a singularity cannon. And it's a very, very fucking strong weapon, and obviously, with considering how strong it is, it's very, 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 very hard to get a hold of, which is obviously by design.
I would loot it
very
just
much
a base
point.
raid.
Oh yeah, you could probably do a bit of base raiding on that, but I will neither confirm or deny how effective it will be.
You just one-shot a bear.
it's fine, but obviously it's and it's semi-auto only. I did initially have an idea to have it so it would do a charge up and then shoot, but I couldn't get that working in time, so that will probably be coming in the future.
Well done.
There's always going to be like improvements to the gun based on people's feedback. Which I'll obviously be doing, and I'll be keeping my eye out. So if anyone who plays Banov does get a hold of the gun, does use it and play it, do let me know in the Banov Discord, and I'll take a look at it, discuss it with Cabello, and we'll see what we can do going forward from there. If it's valid feedback and like gun shit, fuck you, I'll be like, okay fam, whatever. But yeah, so I was really, really happy with how it turned out.
And the RV mat looks good too.
Yeah, I'm going to be improving that in the future, though. I'm going to be most likely be doing the texture later on down the line, with knowledge that I've been getting from DOG and just other stuff. So, but yeah, so really, really happy with how it turned out.
Oh,
yeah.
It's heavy.
Like I said, it's 15 kilograms. Yeah, it will be.
I don't know how much that is.
Oh well, it's at least
2.8 million pounds.
Whoa,
that's fucking heavy, bro. Shit, man. But
just
yes,
keep referencing your mom this whole stream.
God.
But I'm really, really excited for people to see it, and but yeah, it'll be really good.
Has anyone checked on Wellerton, by the way? Like, with all the stuff going on?
He's been in the Discord a bit. It's same as our mate Call Me Rive as well. So, yeah, being a bit ordinary for them over there. But I know Call Me Rive has set up cryptocurrency as a way for people to support him still. Some idiot had a go at him for doing that, and it's like, dude, do you even know what's happening here in Russia? But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but BuzzFeed said I'm supposed to feel this way about these
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
one Bitcoin.
Exactly.
One
you know.
Bitcoin per thumbnail. A little bit expensive, I think. But you know.
1 Bitcoin per thumbnail. Jesus.
Do you think I'm meta money?
But aren't you like a prolific YouTube content creator, Max? Of course you've got money.
Yeah, I've got 4 million views. Apparently, I'm a multimillionaire because of it.
Me alone.
I want to give a shout out to our boy Dumpgra. He's been
Yes.
posting up some interesting little videos. One of them showing that it's got 0 views, so it must be a bug because I know I've watched it. But just give me 1 second.
Views and subs are broken. I don't know why.
He's got these little, just snappy.
Oh yeah, it says there's no views. I think he had over 40 views yesterday or something. Yeah,
Oh, there we go,
72.
72 views.
Put pound hashtag shorts in the title, Dumpgra.
It's not a hash. It's not in the right resolution to be a shorts.
I know, but it still hit the search term, right? The keyword. If it's in the
Probably.
title.
I'm not sure. Haven't done shorts.
But yeah, just interesting little videos. And he's got 3 of them up so far. So definitely check them out. They're just
Got,
nice little... Oh,
got-
4 of
sorry,
them, sorry.
he's got
4.
4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah. So
They're
keep
actually
it up.
really cool. It shows all the attachments. The AK one, if you want to play that one, it's really good because it has like all the different. I didn't even realize how many different furniture variations and attachments were on the KAM.
Yeah, I had to correct him like 3 or 4 times on this one. He got it wrong, but he eventually got it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, does the
Short
job.
and sweet.
Exactly, that's what I said. Short. So, like that, those videos will pop off now. Like I said, when DayZ releases their next gun, if he can get a little video like that the same day it releases,
Oh, yeah.
it'll do well.
Oh yeah.
Yep. What about you, Archie? You got a highlight?
2. 1, I want to shout out Zesty Polvo.
Yes.
You know me, I'm always like shouting out the up and coming guys. Dude's
He is
content's
killing
funny
it.
as hell. He's putting out these quick little out of context. Sometimes they have context. These funny little videos. The one he did with PvE players fucking killed me, dude. I almost had to pull the car over because. Anyway, he's funny, consistent. He live streams on YouTube. Go support YouTube Gaming. Like, dude's good. And there's a broccoli on his streams that is on the screen for all his streams. And if you lick your monitor or your phone screen, it tastes like broccoli. I promise. But it's cool. Honestly, I see nothing but good things for the guy. He's growing fast. If he stays consistent,
He's growing incredibly fast. Like I first started watching him, I think he was down around 1,000. He's just killing it because he's got, as you said, there's so many little clips that he puts up, like this one. We'll just watch this one to give you an idea of what he does.
Oh, he prop stacks. Well, never mind. I retract my previous shout out. I'm just kidding. I do the same thing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful,
Nice.
beautiful.
He's done.
Wow, there's a whole scorpion in here, bro. No fucking way.
Wait, what was it? You know what I'm saying? I love it, man.
It was 11113, bitch.
That was very good.
Yeah, anyway, if you like my kind of humor, you'll love this guy.
His Answer or Die series, Florida's talking about, your DayZ
Look
trivia.
Look at the PvE player one, please. Like, the PvE player one's so funny. And while he's looking this up, the other one, it's down a little bit. The purple coat with the Zastava hat right there, purple quilted jacket right there. This is so real.
Very good.
Well, I'm telling you, right after I got banned off a PvE server for a trap base, I saw that. It was great. But yeah, and the other shout out I have is we do have thereafter backup. Mark's never going to play on it because it's Avonia, but we're trying to create an actual hardcore. We're calling it brutal core survival experience. It's not easy. You probably are going to hate it because it's too difficult. But the regular game was getting way too bored for some of us, so we're just trying
to check this out, Archie. You send it through to me. I've got to come check it out, mate. It's the least I can do for you after all you've done for me, buddy.
No worries, man. There's a huge survivalist community on DayZ. The problem is there's way too many servers trying to do it, and it's scattering everybody out because I'm not making any money from the server. I'm using the normal survival, so I can't monetize anyway. Everything's done through donations. I got Dumpgrow working on snowshoes right now. We're trying to test some things for the map that DOJ and Lad and myself somewhat
What's the
are working
server name
on.
again? Can you type it in chat for people?
It's thereafter, one word. I don't look at the chat during the streams. I'm sorry, it distracts me. But yeah, it's up. We got a Discord up. I'll link that. We're keeping it at 20 pop until it gets populated because I'm trying to spend the money making survival-based mods. So I'm working on shelters right now. The 3 types of shelters you can make. I'm kind of revamping that in my own way. I've got some new custom shelters coming in. We've got the slam fire shotguns. All the crude improvised stuff is what we're really trying to focus on. Yeah, so I'm about to revamp base building in a way that's more realistic because right now it's just barricading. But all this shit cost me a lot of money, and I'm paying for it out of pocket and from donations. I've got some really, really, gracious donators that like to play, and we're just trying to build a community. I don't care about player counts. If you guys want to come over and play on it, leave us some feedback. Do so. It's not going to be an overnight success because I'm not constantly plugging it, and I'm not going to pay to promote it. I might pay Marks to do a video or something or to promote it just to help him out. You know, he lives in the streets, but
that's true.
Other than that, come check it out. It's not easy, and please don't go in the Discord complaining about how you froze to death in 10 minutes because it's not easy. It's hard. It's Winter Livonia. It's very difficult. But yeah, come check it out and go check out Zesty Polvo. And before I go, I want to shout out Boydie because none of this would have happened without him. And I know everybody always shouts out another streamer or mod or a content creator. I want to shout out Boydie and say thank you for putting this together as a member of the community. Thank you. This shit takes a lot of work to set up the guest, set up the template and outline the show to keep the show going. You're an excellent host. And honestly, you put so much time and effort and energy into this and have built this platform for the community. And if you feel like it's been thankless, I want to say thank you as a DayZ obsessed community member.
Thank you.
I want to absolutely shout out Boydie and all the tremendous work that you've done, not only with the podcast, but within the community. And I love you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very nice thing to say, mate. And I'm still going to be doing stuff. You know, like I said, my focus is going to be more on the Spotlight series. I want to get back to those one-to-one interviews with folks. Maybe even some people who are on screen right now. But yeah. And Lad is obviously going to be taking. Are you going to be hanging around, Archie? Still being a co-host with Lad?
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as the only constraint I have is that it takes up the entirety of my Saturday afternoon, and the only days I have off with my wife and son are Saturdays, and we sleep in on Sundays.
Yep.
So that's, and I'm in a motorcycle club, and we have our meetings, our church meetings every Saturday, which is in literally an hour. So it always is just like bam, bam, bam. You know what I mean? But I'm always happy to be here. And all jokes aside, if I'm not here, it's because of something catastrophic keeping me from being on the podcast, because I want to keep supporting this platform. The devs listen, new players listen, existing players listen, modders listen. This platform is a lot bigger than it looks. It might say 20, 30 viewers on the live feed, but that's 5% of your audience. You know, the majority, the bulk of the listeners, the vast majority are going to be in post in a VOD or, iTunes, wherever, Spotify. So this platform has to continue, in my opinion, because it's vital. I mean, if people just understood how important this is, and you don't miss something till it's gone, right? You don't realize what you had till it's gone. So we're going to keep it going and let Boydie go be a senior citizen. and drink his Geritol in peace.
What about you, Mark? What do you got for us?
Nothing.
Spoken like a true Irishman.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing.
You'll get fucking nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. My new Essica video, I suppose. I have to plug it, right?
Yeah,
Where else am I going to get them views from?
Honestly, mate, I really, really enjoyed that Essica video. You should definitely.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of people
make more.
Yeah, a lot of people like that style. The video I do plan to make more. It's my second one. I done the Utes one as well, but I don't want to make them like that'd be a once in a while kind of thing because I want to do kind of unique ones and different ones, and they do well. So, and I like doing them. I like that kind of. I know I say journalistic kind of video, like that kind of.
I mean, yeah, that's what it is. It's an op-ed.
Yeah. I like that. I find that type of video interesting. So.
And they're easy to make. You're just talking over footage.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that always do best for me too. That hacker video did 30K in a week or 2 days.
Like
yeah, and
40K
then,
or something.
Yeah, and then I'll put 12 hours into editing a video and it'll get 5,000. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what it is. But otherwise than that, I don't have anything.
I've got one other thing. It's a personal thing, a little anecdote. Next year, I will be going to Canberra for Anzac Day here in Australia on the 25th of April. It is the 30th anniversary of Operation Solace when we went to Somalia. Apparently we're going to be leading the Anzac Day parade and getting to meet with the Governor General, who was our commanding officer in Somalia. So that's going to be quite a... I'm already getting anxiety thinking about it, going to it. 30 years since I was a 19-year-old boy in Africa. So, yeah, that's going to be fucking interesting. I'll have lots of photos from it and I'll put them onto Twitter as well, but that's a long, long way away. But, yeah. Next week, folks, 100 episode.
Yeah, man.
We did it.
Fucking hell.
Centennial.
Archie, you have to be there for this one, mate.
I'll be there, man. Even if I got to go to a cyber cafe and plug up, I'll be there.
I'm going to reach out to Ballast Mike. I'm going to reach out to Wee Devil. Sadly, Brim has just disappeared.
Vanished,
from the internet. I do worry about the guy. I would have loved to have gotten him back for the 100th episode. But I definitely would like to get Val and Wee Devil on, whether it be for the entire episode or not. But they were both main hosts back in the early days of the show. So we'd love to get them back for a reunion. And I've also reached out to Sumrak and Scotty about coming on as well. But I honestly still haven't even worked out what we're going to do next week for the 100th episode. I'd like to do something, but...
the best episodes are always the ones that are just most, in my opinion, that are just most chill, where you just talk.
Yeah.
Spontaneous. Yeah.
And maybe if Spotty or Sumrak does come on, they give us a bit of a teaser of what's coming in future updates, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when are you fixing cars?
I would like something from them. It'd be nice for them to, give us a sneak peek at something maybe, and who knows? Who knows? We'll see what's going to happen, and
no pressure.
Yeah,
we have another dev that's sitting in the chat, by the way. We can just bring him in.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Look, I've said on Twitter. I think it was, or maybe in the Discord. I would love to get DanceofJesus on as a guest in the future. It'd be an episode that I definitely want to come back for. Just after a few months, just to hear how things are going, and maybe around the time he gets to release the Livonia rework that we know they're working on, and he could talk about what it was like and all the rest of it. Because we all hear lots of stories about what BI is like as a company and all the rest of it, but it'd be great to hear from someone. Because everything he said to me so far is he fucking loves it. He loves his job. It's a dream come true for him.
And if he doesn't like something, he'll fucking tell you. So if you told me, piss off shit.
But yeah, so no fully scheduled guests for next week, folks. No big giveaways or anything silly like that. We did have that one I would love to have been able to do, but just it wasn't feasible, especially with that company crashing and burning in speed run fucking record time.
But that was insane, man.
It would be nice to speak to Val's Mike and Wee Devil if they do actually come on.
Yeah.
I've never gotten spoken to them. They were meant to, I think, be originally still be on like We Devil and stuff when I took over from
Brim.
Who was it? Brim, yeah, so I keep forgetting his name. But I think We Devil stepped away from DayZ for a while as well. So it'd be nice to actually finally chat
Yeah,
to
they
him.
go stream Pokemon.
Yeah. I love that picture of his Pokemon suit. The guy has got a fucking suit with Pokemon. It is fucking awesome.
I'm just as obsessed with the Alien and Predator universe, so I'm not throwing shade. I love it.
No,
I missed the blue waffle attack force.
Nearly every single shirt I own is a graphic tee of some sort. You know, I've got a Goonies shirt, I've got a Red Dead Redemption shirt, I've got a Batman shirt, I've got fucking, you know, I'm a tragic like that. So, yeah, I fucking love his suit. I think it's fucking awesome.
On that note, Bohemia, if you're listening, get some fucking licensed merch, like some action figures or something, some bobbleheads. We'll buy them. Like, just do like a limited edition run of like 1,000 pieces, outsource it, injection mold, like, what's her name? Hannah, the one they're doing the lore about, or one of the like staple characters or zombies, or do like, you know, one of the car wrecks with a guy in a press. I don't care, with a motorcycle helmet bobblehead, do it, because I'm telling you, there's a huge market for that.
Yeah.
As far as like because we love, like, I would do my entire studio in it if it was there.
I love them, and I love the stuff they've got, but the merch store is shit. They
merch
could be selling so fucking much more.
And these right here, by the way, if you guys do go on the merch store, and I'm not just saying this because they send it to me for free, thank you, but these cups, they're like ceramic coated. I love this thing.
Yeah,
I don't even want to drink out of it because it's so nice. Like, and then the hoodies and shirts are good.
Very high quality.
Buy the podcast merch too, support it. But
what Spud just said in chat as well, we've got to do a shout out for all the DayZ community members impacted by the events in Ukraine. We've been chatting to Creep from the Modest Discord who lives in Kiev. So yeah, it's pretty fucking insane what's happening over there, folks. And you know, just I fucking governments, man. This is, you know, for the average citizen, this is a nightmare for them, and it's all because of fucking governments. So yeah,
it's aristocracies, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the reason behind every war.
You know, obviously he's not allowed to leave his country because they, you know, need every person of fighting age there on the ground. And yeah, so stay safe, mate. Stay safe. Okay. We will see you all next week, folks, for the 100th episode. Quite excited for it. It's going to be probably a bit emotional. Didn't think we'd ever get this far. And, you only got to go back and look at that first episode and see how shit it was. The fucking Boomer Zone fucking podcast. What a stupid name that was. But yeah, we've really gotten there. And lad, we'll keep on talking, mate, about the future. And I'll chat with you about your webcam situation, mate, and see if we can't do something there to help you out.
It's all right. I'll sort out the webcam tomorrow because I just want to chill out for the rest of the night. I've got stuff that I want to need to focus on. Yeah. But I appreciate the offer, though.
Awesome. See you all next week, folks. Same time, same channels as always. For the 100th episode of the DayZ podcast. Yip-yah.
Take care, everyone. Much love to you all.
Say bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Ciao for now.